Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita. This is the Game Plan on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Good morning, Wichita, and welcome in to the Game Plan alongside Chuck Fairweather. My name's Andy Stantz. Today is Thursday, July 30th, 2026. Friday Junior, Friday Eve, whatever you want to call it. We're figuring out my headphone situation here because I can't do anything right at the moment. Does it go into the board? This is tech support with Chuck and Andy right now. How are you guys doing today? Yeah, okay, you're just as confused as I am then. Is there a slot right there? No? Where the heck's Doug when you need him? I'll try a couple different ones. That doesn't go in there. Okay. Well, what a raucous start to our show today, Chuck. What do you say?
Well,
don't tell me your headphones don't work.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to help, and I wasn't much help.
Well, clearly, I don't know what the heck I'm doing either, so I don't know which one of us is going to be able to accomplish anything.
I think somewhere there's an adapter that's been somebody has pulled an adapter from you at some point.
Hey, that's a pen. That's not going to do it.
No, a pen is not an adapter.
Thank you for letting me know. See, they don't teach us this in Garden City. We just have to figure things out on our own. It's a dog-eat-dog world. So, all right.
Well, we'll get you fixed up here at some point.
I think so. Just go to the quickest break of all time. No, we're not going to do that.
No, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Anyway.
We will figure it out.
It's Thursday.
It is Thursday, July 30th, almost to the end of July. Dog days of summer are pretty much upon us. Which means not only is there a lot of big things happening in the baseball world, training camps opening up in football. We're just starting to get a whiff of what's to come on the court in basketball season. It's really a great time for the intersection of all the sports that I think this city and this region comes to know and love. Good morning to Marv over on Facebook. Good morning to everybody else tuning in. And yeah, I think we'll just get right into some things, Chuck. We'll start with that basketball that I mentioned, specifically some of which is going on right now. We have no more Kansas teams left in the TBT. The JHX Hoops team of alums from Kansas. The Jayhawks fought valiantly, but on the road in a hostile environment against the University of Kentucky, La Familia. Yeah, that was a tough game, and it showed in the scores. 78-65, Kentucky takes down the Kansas alums. And it really wasn't even that close when you look at the score there, even though the JHX Hoops team held an early lead. Once they lost it later in the first, it was pretty much all downhill from there. La Familia was up 7 at halftime. Then they were up 21 after the third quarter. Jayhawks were outscored 21-7. Yes, that means 7 points in the third quarter for JHX. They shot 1 of 15 from the field.
Yikes. Yeah, 1 of 15, not good. Just ran out of steam, and you kind of gotta wonder if, some of the controversy from the other night kind of maybe took its toll a little bit on them, things of that nature. But unfortunately, no Kansas teams left in the TBT. So here's the question. As much as the TBT has been celebrated and heavily supported here in the Wichita area, does this kind of maybe take away from that a little bit? Is it probably not? Is there anybody in this area that maybe is still going to support the TBT, or now do we just not care?
That's a good question. I mean, tonight we have the championship of the non-alumni teams, and then once that's played, we kind of go in hiatus until the $2 million game on Sunday, which is going to feature whoever wins out of that non-alumni portion of the bracket. I'll say, for just basketball's sake, I will watch it. Will I be incredibly emotionally invested in it? Probably not. But I still think it's exciting to see some guys that are near the top of their game still, whether or not they were legends in college basketball play. I don't know if a lot of fans around here embody that same sentiment. I think the reason so many fans like college basketball and love the sport in general is because of what the collegiate teams around here have done. I don't know if they would watch basketball for basketball's sake, especially when 3 of the Kansas teams that could have made it to the championship are no longer here. I'm not sure. I think you know better than I do on how this region operates when it comes to that.
Definitely very heavy on college basketball. The Shockers are followed very closely in this area. Whether or not the TBT is something that people in this area follow or not, I don't know. I think maybe just because of the fact that the Shockers have been involved in the TBT so heavily the last few years, there probably will be some people that'll tune into that game on Sunday. I think I might even tune in just to kind of maybe check it out and see what happens.
I think it's the right call to make. That game, by the way, let's see. First off, we'll tell you today it is the non-alumni championship between the Mecca and Davis Steel. That's at, doing the math in my head, 6 p.m. our time. And then on Sunday at noon over on Fox is going to be whoever is going to play for that $2 million game. Back to this JHX Hoops game, though. Like we said, it was a tough road after the first quarter for JHX Hoops. They shoot 30% from the field as a team, 17% from 3, 5 makes, and 29 attempts from behind the arc. There were 3 Jayhawks in double figures: Frank Mason, Zeke Mayo, and Billy Preston. Mason had 13, Mayo had 12, Preston with 15. The 3 of them combined, though, they shoot 12 for 44, the 3 of them. That kind of speaks for itself. I think going in the hostile environment, like you said, Chuck, it was a very emotionally charged game they played earlier this week against the Aftershocks. I was surprised to see that Billy Preston, who was the Jayhawks player, caught up like with the fan and stuff. Mm-hmm. He actually scored the most points for JHX Hoops. He's a guy that never even played a regular season game in a Jayhawks uniform. So I guess credit to him for putting on for his team, if nothing else.
Well, hey, it doesn't matter who you played for in the past. What matters is the jersey you're wearing now, and if you're gonna play, if you're gonna wear the jersey, you might as well act like it.
The name on the front means a heck of a lot more than the name on the back, or so I'm told. It's interesting because KU had 14 more shot attempts than the Kentucky team, mainly because they had like 21 offensive boards, 5 more total rebounds than the Kentucky team did. KU also had 11 steals to help force the 17 turnovers from Kentucky. Like 17 turnovers, and I think they only had 8 assists or something like that. That's usually a ratio of a losing team. But the numbers that KU was able to institute on the extra shot attempts, and this one doesn't really need analysis here. It really doesn't matter when Kentucky shoots 26 of 56, and KU gets 14 more shot attempts, but makes 5 less shots. They shoot 21 of 70. It's a tough place to play when you're around those Wildcat fans. I've never been to a game over there, but I've heard stories about what goes on between those 4 walls over there at Rupp Arena and how it's very much similar to what goes on at the Fog at Allen Fieldhouse. Can't imagine the Aftershocks debacle wasn't weighing heavy on the minds of them, though.
It's hard to say. Certainly not the way that anybody wanted their tournament to end.
No. Compared to the way that KU was playing before, they had a hard-fought 3-game series against K-State. They were very much impressive against Wichita State in that back-and-forth game, and you want it to all come to a head and see kind of a instant classic type of thing for the alumni championship, and then they just kind of go out like this. I don't know. I mean, that's sports sometimes. Not everything is going to have a storybook ending. It's just a bummer from the fan perspective, I think, because there's so many familiar faces that we've seen produce at the highest level in Jayhawk uniforms, So who's to say if we'll see Frank Mason or Zeke Mayo or Jacob Hanna or any of these guys again? Mario Chalmers played 11 minutes yesterday. He didn't score any points or anything, but it was just good to see him out there.
Well, that's the thing about the TBT tournament is I don't think you ever know from one year to the next who is and isn't going to be back, especially, in the case of the Aftershocks, we talked about it or touched on it a little bit the other day is there was already a lot of speculation around this entire roster as to how many of these guys would be back for next year, or if there was even going to be an Aftershocks team at all. This was going to kind of be the last hurrah, so to speak. At least that was kind of what a lot of people had the feeling of. Is that they were going to give it one more ride to see if they could win another tournament title, and now not only did they do that, but now there's I don't know that there's outward speculation, but you have to wonder after what happened the other night, is there even going to be an Aftershocks team next year? That's a very it stinks to think about, but that's a very realistic question we have to sit here and ask ourselves right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Like I said, La Familia beating JHX Hoops 78-65. Game high point total from Archie Goodwin of La Familia. He hits the Elam-ending game winner and finishes with 28 points. We're going to go right to the Maximum Outdoor Equipment hotlines and bring in our first caller of the morning. Good morning. You're live on KGSO.
Hey, Andy. This is Dakota.
Good morning, Dakota.
What do you think about the SEC in football?
You said the SEC, Dakota?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want my just general opinion on the Southeastern Conference, switching gears to college football just a little bit here, I think I've said sometime on this week on this show that the claims that the SEC is the best conference in football, I don't think that anybody should disagree with that. People still do because I think they have a lot of vitriol towards the Southeastern Conference, but that's definitely the case. Top to bottom, if there's one conference of teams you want to trot out there that's the most complete, it's absolutely the SEC. Now, the claims that they still run college football and the claims that, ESPN had their rankings of all the strength of schedule of teams in the SEC. Should they occupy something like, 7 out of the top 10 spots or 10 out of the top 15 spots in there? You can make the argument, yes, but I don't think that the whole it just means more and the whole, they're just playing a different sport south of the Mason-Dixon line. I don't think that's any longer the case, okay? As Brett Bielema said at Big Ten Media Days, he's the head coach of Illinois, it's not 2005 anymore, okay? You take away all the SEC teams from the last 3 national championships, and the games remain unchanged. I still think that they are undoubtedly far and away the most complete conference, but to say that they blow out every single other organization of collegiate football teams in the country, that's not something that's the case anymore. And if you still believe that's the case, you still think Nick Saban's coaching at Alabama, you still think Urban Meyer is down winning championships in Gainesville at Florida, you still must think that Les Miles is relevant anywhere in this country, lest Jayhawk fans tell you otherwise. So I guess that's what my take is currently on the SEC and how it is embedded in the collegiate football climate at this point.
Yeah,
He's stepping up and he's still stepping up in games this year. Like Ohio State goes to Texas this year in week 2, and not that many cupcake teams anymore.
Right, yeah. So something I do have to applaud the SEC for doing is they went to they mandated the 9-game conference schedule for all of their member schools when it used to be 8 before, which is why you always got Alabama randomly playing like Alcorn State in a key moment in October when other teams of other conferences were playing big-time teams. I like that conferences, I think, understand that within reason, because you see this sometimes where teams will kind of just throw other quote-unquote Power 4 schools on their schedule, and they really aren't all that. I mean, that doesn't happen for some schools, but you have Ohio State, you have Texas. They're matching up for the second straight year this year. Ohio State, just because I know a little bit about them having went there, of course. They have a home-and-home series with Alabama in a few years. They're going to do the same a home-and-home with Georgia, right? These teams, they're crossing over conferences, which I think is good for the sport. I think it's good, especially in the era of the expanded playoff, because these games, you could lose these games. You could put up a good fight and still come out as the loser here and still make the playoff. It's not as much of a risk to go in these games as if it was still in the BCS era or still just the 14 playoff, right? What gets me And Chuck, I'm sorry, I guess I'm really doing a soliloquy here a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm listening to you go, man.
Okay. What gets me is when SEC fans say, well, why do Big Ten fans think that they're running football? They're only getting to the national championship games. They're only getting to the playoff because they didn't have to play an SEC team. Ohio State beat Texas last year. Indiana steamrolled Alabama. There's many such cases of the SEC teams falling to opponents that they probably should have beaten on paper, but they ended up not doing so. My point is they can't keep playing these theoretical games with the rest of college football because we see the physical manifestation of it on the field a lot of times. Now, if Ohio State goes down to Austin in a couple weeks and gets absolutely smacked, I will shut my mouth, okay? Because that we saw the proof was in the pudding there, okay? Ohio State played Texas in Columbus last year. That's a much different story than going and playing on the road. My only point to that, and Chuck's going to follow me up with something here, Dakota, but my only point to that is we should wait for the games to be played and before we say a whole lot.
Now, as much as I agree with largely most of what you said, I will throw this in there. Doug and I had this conversation last week. I agree with you that the Big Ten is giving an SEC a run for its money in football supremacy, especially at the top. But I still think overall, top to bottom, the SEC is overall better than the Big Ten. I do believe that. I do believe there are more top 25 capable schools in the SEC than what there are top 25 capable schools in the Big Ten. By about 4 or 5.
Okay.
So while the top is better right now in the Big Ten, I think overall you've got a larger number of schools that can play competitive football in the SEC than what you do have in the Big Ten. That much I do believe.
I'll let Dakota. I want you. You can respond to that if you want before I give it a go.
I do agree with Chuck, and some of the Big Ten teams. I don't know how Indiana would do this year after they lost their quarterback. They might win maybe 9 games this year and make it to the playoff. I don't know about the other teams in the Big Ten that might make it.
On that point, I think the teams in the Big Ten, IU, as much as I think they're going to be good this upcoming year, I don't think they're going to be great. They're not going to go 16-0 undefeated season, okay? Much of that class last year, much of that team were experienced guys that chose to stay at IU and build something under Curt Cignetti after they, before last season, their best season in program history was literally the season before. Just getting to the playoff and even losing in the first round was something that the Hoosiers had never done on a football field. So I don't think it's definitely not a championship or bust season for them. But there are a couple teams in the Big Ten where that's absolutely true. And I think it's too deep when you look at the teams in the Big Ten that are going to the season would be a complete failure if they didn't make the playoff, or it's going to be a complete failure if they don't even win a playoff game. You could even say that. It's Ohio State and it's Oregon. Now, if you want to throw a couple teams maybe in the tier below that, I think Penn State, with Matt Campbell coming from Iowa State, which a lot of Big 12 fans know quite well, they're going to be better than advertised just because so many of Campbell's Iowa State products that contributed last year are going to be on that team. USC, you can never count USC out. I think they always get too much talent and unfortunately just don't know what to do with it. I think that's been frustrating for Trojans fans. That's kind of been the case ever since Pete Carroll left about 2 decades ago. Past that, I mean, it depends how much you believe in Kyle Whittingham turning around the Michigan program after the whole Sharon Moore debacle and just everything that's gone on in the last half decade in Ann Arbor. And yeah, I would say if you want to throw Illinois in there, maybe, but they lost their quarterback and Luke Altmaier. It's difficult to say. I will say this year that while you know what, Chuck, even though I am wearing a Big Ten shirt that I got from the basketball championship, the teams that are going to make the playoffs from the SEC, I think, are going to be more in number. But Ohio State and Oregon, that's a tough 1-2 punch to contend with for a conference.
That's what I'm saying. I think at the very tippy top, yes. When you consider the top 2 or 3 teams in each conference, top 3 from the Big Ten versus top 3 from the SEC, right now I think the Big Ten arguably has the knockout punch there. When you're comparing just those 3. Again, Indiana, like you said, I think they're going to be very good again. They could be championship contenders again. You never know. The Buckeyes will be right there. The Ducks will be right there. So that's a heck of a top 3 that the Big Ten has. Now the SEC, you're looking at, right now you really don't know who the top 3 in the SEC is going to be. Could it be Texas? It's Georgia's likely to be right there. There's any one of a number of teams that could land in the top 3 for the SEC. You just don't truly know right now, and I think that's where the Big Ten has that. We know who the top of the Big Ten is going to be. We know it's going to be Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon. Not necessarily maybe in that order. But those are the top 3 in the Big Ten right now.
I'd say so.
Okay, the SEC right now there's multiple schools: Georgia, Alabama, Texas. Depending upon who you talk to and who you believe right now, LSU could be there.
Yep.
Texas A&M could be in the mix. I mean, you just don't really know about Ole Miss could be in the mix again. You don't know who the top 3 are going to be right now in the SEC. But again, you look at this is where I say when you look at it 2 different ways, I like the SEC overall more than I do the Big Ten. Once you get outside of those top 3 in the Big Ten, then you're talking about schools like you said, USC, Michigan, Iowa, who they can't score points, but they can sure defend every year.
They love punts.
Nebraska's supposed to take a step forward and be a top 25 school. But with the Big Ten, you've got the top 3, and then you have teams that are like 15th through 20th the rest of the way. And it's 6 or 7 teams. Where the SEC, they're going to be littered all throughout the top 25. And again, you've got Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas A&M, Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma. Vanderbilt was pretty good last year. They could contend again. LSU's supposed to be on the rebound. There's just top to bottom. The SEC is better overall than what the Big Ten is. They're going to have more teams in the top 25. They'll have more teams in the playoff. So I think that's where the SEC still reigns supreme, is just top to bottom in that conference. They do nothing, like Doug said, and I hate to admit it, they do nothing but beat each other up all week. Ohio State, within its own conference, is going to have some games where it's the quote-unquote, we can kind of take this week off a little bit. More so than what SEC schools have. Now, let's look at Ohio State's schedule this year.
I could probably tell you most of it. That's embarrassing that I say that. I will say this year, their strength of schedule is much more difficult than it was last year.
And I'm sorry to poo-poo on your Buckeyes.
No, I like it because it's going to get me animated. It's going to be awesome.
I'm sorry to do this to you. But I want to go look at their schedule this year. Ball State, week 1, okay, meh. Kent State, week 3, meh. Maryland, are we really concerned about Maryland too much?
Not since they had Tua's brother. Okay. That was about it.
Meh. I mean, Northwestern.
Meh.
Nah. So they got about 4 games, realistically, where it's like they could probably mail it in and they're going to be just fine.
Well, doesn't every team in college football? Doesn't Alabama play absolutely nobody week 1?
Let's go look at their schedule.
I'm not disagreeing that an SEC team schedule, on average, is more difficult than a Big Ten team schedule. But you have to look at some of the games that some of these Big Ten teams are playing and admit that it's difficult to go down to Austin and play Texas. That it's going to be hard to go play the defending champs in Bloomington, in IU. Sure. It's going to be hard to win. Okay,
I'm not saying that they don't have difficult games either.
Okay, and I'm just saying that they're not the only team with cupcake games. I could be wrong, unless Alabama's playing Jim Thorpe.
Dakota, we haven't forgot about you. You got any
yeah,
comment
Dakota,
on this?
we'll toss it back to you for a second.
No, that's all I have.
All right, buddy.
Thanks for calling in, dude.
We're due.
Yeah, we got the Facebook chat animated. Trevor says, "Give me Ball State," and we got an OH and an IO. So, oh goodness.
Who do we think? Okay, just let's do it this way. Who do we think is going to be the top team in the SEC this year? Sorry,
that's okay. The top team in the. I mean, it's hard for me to ever say any team but Georgia, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, you can make the argument that it's like 5 or 6 top teams contending for those top 3 spots in the SEC. I think Texas, I guess, too. Either one you want to pick.
All right. Well, let's go look at Georgia's schedule real quick. Wait,
do you want to look at it and we'll go to?
Yeah,
we'll talk about it after?
We need to go to break.
Okay, we're gonna do that. I guess we got all animated about college football. Man, Dakota did that on purpose. I swear.
Yeah. Right.
I'm not mad at him for it. I gotta admit. Yeah. Marvin, Trevor, they were just lighting up the Facebook chat.
Here's what we're gonna do. Get a blank sheet of paper out.
Okay.
We're gonna look at Ohio State and Oregon. I'm sorry, former national defending national champs Indiana. We're gonna leave you out of this for a second. And we're gonna compare Ohio State and Oregon schedules to Georgia and Texas' schedules.
Deal.
And we're gonna see overall who we think has two plus. Yeah.
You heard him after the break, guys.
Call the Game Plan now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The Game Plan. KGSO.
KGSO is back with the second annual SC Wichita Cares for Kids, coming up August 27th and 28th. Join Wichita's sports station as we support the Children's Miracle Network. Hear their powerful stories and help support our children in Wichita. It's the second annual SC Wichita Cares for Kids, August 27th and 28th. And it's brought to you by
Truck Stuff, Jewelry Savers, Davis Liquor Outlet, the Wichita Technical Institute, the Sugar Shack, and Wichita Sports Station KGSO.
It's towing season, so that means it's time to come see the experts at Truck Stuff. Whether you're needing a hitch, a gooseneck or bumper pull, a brake controller, or airbags to level the ride, we've got you covered. We'll guide you on what suits your vehicle best so that you can have a safe and enjoyable trip. Whether you want to install it yourself or have our professional installers do it here, we thank you for shopping local at Truck Stuff at their corner of Central and Washington.
Tricked out, decked out, check us out. Truck Stuff.
Get a jump on your holiday shopping during the Christmas in July sale, now at Moneytown Pawn. Shop a huge selection of new and used firearms, beautiful jewelry, electronics, tools, and so much more, all at great prices. Need extra time to pay? Take advantage of Moneytown Pawn's convenient layaway program and make payments all the way until December. For 60 years, Moneytown Pawn has helped families save money on quality merchandise. Stop by today and see why generations have trusted Moneytown Pawn for value, selection, and service. Christmas in July now at Moneytown Pawn.
Burwell Construction has been a trusted name in the roofing business as a local company. Whether you're still trying to get a new roof from storms or have general wear and tear, call Burwell Construction at 316-794-3430. Burwell Construction will evaluate your roof and work with you from start to finish, even help with any insurance claims. Join the thousands of others and trust your next roof to Burwell Construction. 316-794-3430 or burwellconstruction.com.
If it's built well, it's Burwell. Burwell Construction.
Test drive a Grasshopper mower at Maximum Outdoor Equipment and Service. Grasshopper mowers offer decks with powerful and reliable operation, unmatched comfort, and a legendary cut that leaves your lawn smooth and manicured every time. Grasshopper mowers, committed to the cut. Visit Maximum Outdoor Equipment, south of 21st and Andover Road, or south of Kellogg on West Street, or MaximumOutdoor.com. We know mowers.
Maximum Outdoor Equipment.
10 days, 35 games, 16 teams from across the country. All of it comes down to one night, Saturday, August 1st. Downtown Wichita, Equity Bank Park. Championship night presented by Kansas 811. Crowns the 92nd NBC World Series champion. The best amateur baseball players in America right here under the lights. And when it's over, Black Hills Energy and Victory Pyrotechnics light up the Wichita sky. This is what summers are made of. tickets at NBCBaseball.com.
The 92nd NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon James. Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
Play games, win prizes, set reminders, and listen to your favorite KGSO shows by downloading our app today.
Chuck and I are back after break. This is still the game plan. We're at the bottom of our first hour, 6:30 a.m. for your current time here in the morning. Hope your morning drive's going well, and thanks for starting it off with us. So we left off. We had a long-winded segment there in a good way, I should go ahead and mention.
Go ahead.
All I was going to say is we were talking a lot about college football. We were talking about Big Ten, SEC, where they fall, and the schedules of all the teams that are at the top of both conferences, should be at the top of both conferences.
Yeah. We've determined that the 4 schedules that we're looking at are, in fact, for the top 5 teams in the country, if you believe what power ranking you found.
Yeah, CBS Sports had Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Georgia as 4 of the top 5 teams. Notre Dame was the 5th, by the way.
So we picked the 4 right schools. Sorry again, Indiana. You'll have to go prove it again.
Yes.
And I'm going to even simplify this even more. We said 1 through 4. We're simply going to do 1 through 3. 3 being a this is going to be a hard game. 1 being the easy. One is should win no matter what.
Yeah. 2,
toss up. Could be a tough game, but probably should win it.
Yes.
3 is this is going to be a fight.
Yeah.
This is going to be a dog fight. 3 is we could possibly lose this game. And I think it's fair to say, like, for Texas and Ohio State both, you got to write a 3 under each column. That's it. That's as hard as you're probably going to get in the college football schedule this year.
I think so.
So that game's worth a 3 for both of those squads on either side of the fence there. And then what we'll do is we'll tally all 4 schedules up, and we'll see who has the quote-unquote highest number or hardest schedule according to Andy Stats and Chuck Fairweather.
This is going to be interesting.
Okay.
I'm enjoying this already.
So Ohio State.
Ball State.
Week 1's Ball State. That ought to be a 1.
Dude, that's a 3. What are you talking about?
Come on. you Ohio. Give me that paper for Ohio State.
No.
You homer.
Do you want it?
You homer.
Yeah, you can trust me. I promise.
Okay.
I promise.
All right. Texas. That ought to be a 3.
Especially because it's in Texas. Even though for Texas, it's still absolutely a 3. But
yeah, like I said, that's a 3 for both teams.
Yes, yeah.
Kent State, 1.
Dude, Golden Flashes, man. It's actually a fun school.
Illinois.
That one is at home.
1. That ought to be a 1. They'll be favored by more than 2 touchdowns in that game.
If it was last year, I would give it a 2, but that was a flash in the pan year for Illinois. I will give it a 1. Fine.
Okay. At Iowa.
Like you said, it's the whole conundrum with Iowa. Do they play both sides of the football?
I will give you a 2 on that one only because it's at Iowa. If this were in Ohio, that's a 1.
That's a 1 if it's at the shoe. But Ohio State has gotten upset on the road in Iowa, Iowa City.
And Iowa typically has a defense that can play.
Yes.
So I'll give you a 2 there.
Oh my God. I remember where I was, that Ohio State-Iowa game, but that's not important right now.
Maryland, 1.
Not going to fight you there. Is that one? I actually don't even know. Is that one at home? Not that it matters.
No,
okay.
No. Yes, it is at home for Ohio. For Ohio State.
Thank you. Ohio University.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. Some people care about it. I'm one of those people.
Damn homer.
Says the guy named Chuck Fairweather.
Yeah. At Indiana. We'll give them credit for being defending national champs. We'll say a 3.
Okay.
I'll 2 if it were at Ohio State. Because it's at Indiana, I'll give you a 3 on that.
Yeah, now Ohio State got lucky that they skipped a year in the IU regular season games because IU came to Columbus 2 years ago, and that was a rough game as it was. So this one's going to be even tougher.
USC. At USC.
I'm still saying that's a 2.
I would agree.
Yeah.
At home versus Oregon. That's going to be a 3.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure.
At home versus Northwestern.
Yeah. Okay.
1.
That might be a 0.
1.
I'm sorry to any Northwestern fans that are listening, but my goodness, you guys.
Now this is one where
bad.
I think you could legitimately argue if they turn out to be what they're supposed to be. You could argue that this game's going to be a 3, and I'll say at Nebraska, and that's at Nebraska.
Okay. I wouldn't even say a 3 there.
If you want to label, you want to give it a 2?
I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay, let's give it a 2.
I'm going to give it a 2, but I see where you're coming from with that.
If Doug's listening right now and he fires you on Monday for that,
now I know.
Listen. You're on your own.
That's a game Ohio State should win, though, right?
At Nebraska, and if they're supposed to take a leap this year, this is supposed to be a top 25 school this year.
I'm just Googling something real quick. The last time Nebraska beat Ohio State, it was in Lincoln. I was in 5th grade.
Okay.
Sorry, Doug. Okay, now I definitely might get fired. Now I really
Listen, you want to give it a 2, we'll give it a 2.
Okay. And I already know who the last game is. And
Michigan?
Yes.
That's always a 3. I don't care what either of those teams' schedule going into that game is. That's such an intense rivalry. That's always a 3.
Chuck, I gain a lot of respect for you right now.
You have to admit, you got to be honest about what you're looking at, right?
I mean, they call it the game for a reason. They don't call it by anything else.
Okay,
it's
all right.
the game.
Moving on, Oregon.
Okay. All right, the Ducks.
The Ducks. Boise State at home.
Yeah, maybe if this was 2012 or something, but.
Well, if this was Ashton Genty's Boise State, we would probably argue about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I got to probably give this a 1, don't you think?
I'm going 1 with Boise State.
Okay. At Oklahoma State.
That's a 1.
1?
I don't care that it's on
not
the road.
Even a 2? You're not even going to give them credit for being a Big 12 team?
But it's Oklahoma State, and I understand they have the North Texas transfer Mestemaker now, and Big 12 Media Days, they were saying, like, oh, don't, watch out for Oklahoma State a little bit. I'm not buying it. If you want to buy it, I'll give it the 2, but I'm not buying it right now.
Okay, we'll leave it at
They
a 1.
went 1 and 11 last year.
All right, we'll leave it a 1.
All right.
Versus Portland State. That's a 1.
I shouldn't laugh.
At USC. What did we give Ohio State?
2.
At USC?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave that at 2.
I think leave that at 2.
UCLA at home?
1.
Okay. Nebraska at home?
We gave 2 to. Well, that's got to be a 2 then, still, right?
At least. I don't think you can label that a 3 if you didn't label Nebraska at home versus Ohio State a 3. I think you've got to give it the same.
All right, 2.
Okay.
Oregon at home against the Huskers.
Okay. Illinois? At Illinois?
We gave Ohio State a 1 for that being at home. Is that a 2 because they're on the road? Again, Illinois is not going to be Illinois last year. I think they're still going to make a bowl game. They might not do much in it, but they'll still make they won a bowl game last year. Now I think about it.
Yeah, but again, we're talking about what's supposed to be a top 5 team in the country.
Okay.
Going to Illinois.
So 1?
I think that's 1 that they should win, yeah.
Okay.
Northwestern?
Okay. Well, next game.
At Ohio State?
3.
Absolutely. Versus Michigan?
I might give... Is it crazy to say 3 on that one?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that is.
No.
I don't think so because the strength of the Michigan team this year, Even though a lot of people are expecting Bryce Underwood, who we consider the best freshman ever by some margins, even though they think he's going to take a big step up on the quarterback side, the strength is still on the defensive side for Michigan.
Yeah, well, in Michigan, look, Michigan's going to be a top 25 school. I think you could argue any top 25 game you could probably automatically label a 3.
Yeah, yes.
It's the games against Washington, Illinois, Nebraska, Northwestern, UCLA. Those are the ones that you look at and go, So, at Michigan State.
I think Michigan State does all right this year. They got Pat Fitzgerald in the helm. I like him. I liked him what he did at Northwestern before they got him out of there.
Michigan State last year 1-8, 4-8 overall.
I'll say 2.
Only because I think because it's at Michigan State.
Because it's in East Lansing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Washington, who they were a fringe top 25 school last year.
Yes. Yeah. They should have played better than they did. I thought.
Now they get Washington at home, though.
I think that chucks it down to a 2 then.
Okay.
2 against
I can buy that.
The Huskies. Okay. Texas and Georgia now.
Georgia.
We're
going to start with Georgia.
I'm actually kind of scared to hear these SEC schedules now. Now you got me shaking in my boots.
Well, I think these first 2 games, probably first 3 games, are likely going to be ones.
Do tell.
Tennessee State.
Okay.
Western Kentucky.
Okay.
Arkansas.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought about that one, but no, it's still a 1.
Now here's where we get into the gauntlet.
Okay.
Oklahoma.
I think I'll give that a 3.
I mean,
I don't know. Is that giving Oklahoma too much credit?
Eighth last year.
With John Mateer back, I'm giving Oklahoma a 3. I like him at quarterback. He should if he was healthy the whole year, he would have been closer in the Heisman rankings.
Okay. How about Vanderbilt, the top 15 school last year?
2.
Okay.
Not a 3, but 2.
Not a 3. All right. Alabama at Alabama.
Yeah, we know what that one is.
3.
It didn't matter where that game was. Bama, Georgia will always be a 3. I don't care if it's their cheerleaders fighting.
Auburn at home.
Cam Newton's Auburn, Gene Chiswick's Auburn would have been 3. This is a 2.
Okay. Florida at home.
I know Florida went 4-8 last year, but you look at their schedule. That was a tough 12-game schedule they had to play. It's definitely not a 1. I think this one's middle of the road too.
Okay. I'll let you know if I disagree.
Okay.
With you.
All right.
Because we kind of maybe need to speed this process up just a little. Ole Miss at Ole Miss.
3.
Okay.
With Chambliss back, I like Ole Miss.
Missouri at home.
Oh, Dorkwitz.
This is a team that was 8-5 last year, arguably just outside of the top 25.
I want you to call it. This one's actually difficult for me.
At Missouri, I think a lot of it depends on where it's at. They're outside of the top 25. I'm going to call this a solid 2. Okay. A very solid 2.
I think you could make the argument and not be left out of the room that it should be a 3.
Probably, but for now, we'll err on the side and say that's a solid 2.
Okay.
At South Carolina. 4-8, 1-7 last year. I still have a hard time labeling any SEC school a 1. Like I really do.
You know, I hate to say it, but I do agree. I'm going to call this a 2, I think.
Okay. And Georgia Tech at home.
I think that clean old-fashioned hate, I think that's always a 2, especially Georgia Tech isn't a laughing stock these days.
No, but that's a non-SEC game, isn't it?
Correct, yeah. Georgia Tech's in the ACC.
Yeah. You still call that a 2?
I still call it a 2 just because the Yellow Jackets have actually found some sort of success in the 21st century post Calvin Johnson.
All right, I'll buy it.
Okay. And then do we just want to riff through Texas real quick?
Let's do that, and then during the break, we'll add up the scores, and we'll give everybody the results.
Okay. Yeah, we're comparing the top.
This is going to be a very quick break. We got to riff through this schedule real fast.
Yes.
Texas Longhorns at Texas State, 1.
Okay.
Or versus Texas State, either way. Ohio State at home.
3.
UTSA at home.
1.
At Tennessee.
Like Volunteers, really? They play each other this year? Okay.
At Tennessee.
In Neyland Stadium, I'm giving them a 3.
Okay. Versus Oklahoma.
Red River's got to be a 3, right?
Okay. Florida at home.
2.
Ole Miss at home.
We gave it to Georgia. Is that also a 3 then?
I think so.
Okay.
Ole Miss, I think, is going to be on probably in the top 10. Mississippi State at home.
2. Maybe. No, I'll give him a 2. Give him a 2.
2?
You could say 1, but I'm not going to do that.
At Missouri.
I'm still thinking 2.
Okay. How much are you buying the hype with LSU this year? Because at LSU is the next one.
I want to think on that one. Go past and we'll talk about it during the break and add them up.
Okay. Versus Arkansas.
1.
At A&M.
3.
Okay. So the LSU game at LSU is the only game that you got to make a decision on.
Yeah, we will have to figure that one out. Okay, so for those of you that maybe just joined us, we took Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Georgia's schedules, and we're assigning them like a difficulty score on 1 to 3 just to try and make it easy. And
1 being they should easily win that game. 2, could lose, should win, but could lose. And 3, yeah, this is going to be a tough game.
So we're going to tally them up and see where exactly these teams stand in their schedules.
Okay.
And see, I don't know, Big Ten or SEC. We have our own thoughts, opinions, and we're going to try and then quantify them. So we're going to talk about that after the break. This is the Game Plan.
Scientific stuff over here.
Dang straight.
This portion of the Game Plan brought to you by Southwestern Remodeling, Wichita's full-line remodeler since 1970. See our project galleries at southwesternremodeling.com.
The Game Plan. KGSO.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Patrick Mahomes was not listed as the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. That honor belongs to Joshua Allen.
Last season for Mahomes was the bounce-back season, right? The bounce-back season wasn't that great compared to his standards.
This is The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Evenings on KGSO. And find KGSO on the SC Wichita app.
Wichita Wind Surge Baseball is back at Equity Bank Park. Bring your friends, bring the family, and enjoy an exciting night of baseball right here in Wichita. From big hits to family-friendly promotions and special theme nights, there's always something happening at the ballpark. For the full schedule of upcoming events, follow us on Facebook at Wichita Wind Surge or visit us online at windsurge.com. Wichita Wind Surge Baseball. Don't miss the action at Equity Bank Park.
Are you looking for a better healthcare experience? Look no further. Kingman Healthcare Center is a full-service hospital and 24/7 emergency room with little to no wait times. Kingman Healthcare Center was recently named a Top 20 Critical Access Hospital by the Chartis Center for Rural Health. Top 20 in the entire nation. Come see for yourself what all the celebration is about. Exceptional care every time. To learn more, visit our website at kingmanhc.com.
Looking for a healthier option to get you through the afternoon grind? Check out Dot Greens with 3 locations in Wichita. At Dot Greens, you can find a huge selection of salads, wraps, and sandwiches that won't leave you feeling bloated all afternoon. With the freshest ingredients, you know you'll always feel great after a lunch or dinner at Dot Greens. Check them out at Central and Hillside or at the Waterfront and New Market Square. While you're there, don't forget to pick up a few bottles of freshly pressed juice. Dot Greens, locally owned and operated.
Get a jump on your holiday shopping during the Christmas in July sale. Now at Moneytown Pawn. Shop a huge selection of new and used firearms, beautiful jewelry, electronics, tools, and so much more, all at great prices. Need extra time to pay? Take advantage of Moneytown Pawn's convenient layaway program and make payments all the way until December. For 60 years, Moneytown Pawn has helped families save money on quality merchandise. Stop by today and see why generations have trusted Moneytown Pawn for value, selection, and service. Christmas in July now at Moneytown Pawn.
Your home for the NBC Baseball World Series is right here on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
We're going to jump right in and make sure we got enough time to get our thoughts, feelings, and opinions out, which we so often do here on the Game Plan. Thanks for joining me and Chuck Fairweather. I'm Andy Stats. 6:50 a.m. is your time. We have been spending pretty much this entire first hour talking about college football. Thanks to Dakota for calling in and jumpstarting this conversation. So, we devised a system to try and quantify the difficulty of the schedules of what we thought and what I think is general consensus of the top two teams in both the Big Ten and the SEC, and probably 4 of the 5 best teams in the country: Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Georgia. We went down each of their games and decided if it was a 1, a game that they should win no matter what, like there's really no excuse. 2, a game that you probably should win, but you could see the loss coming in there and it wouldn't be too far-fetched. And 3 is a game that at best it's like 50-50. At worst, you might even not be favored to win. So going down the line and doing that for all of these teams all the way down their schedule.
So the higher score indicates a tougher schedule.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's a good distinction to make.
Who had the 4th toughest of those 4? Who had the easiest schedule?
This one was not a surprise to me. Oregon. So out of their 12 games, we gave them 20 points, essentially.
Okay. Who had the 3rd easiest schedule?
I don't want to say. Ohio State. The Buckeyes of Ohio State.
Both Big Ten teams.
23.
God,
23.
Dang. All right. Who had the 2nd easiest schedule?
I actually thought this was going to be flipped around, but the second most difficult schedule, the Georgia Bulldogs, 24.
Okay,
is what we assigned them. Which means the toughest schedule out of these 4 teams, out of the 4 of the top 5 teams in the country, and who is probably on some rankings of polls probably going to be the number 1 team in the preseason. The Texas Longhorns, 26.
Okay.
We actually have a caller. Should we bring him in here for 30 seconds?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Don't have a lot of time, but you're live on KGSL. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Hey, guys, just real quick. I saw Nick Saban on Pat McAfee's show the other day. All 16 teams in the SEC, their schedule is in the top 25. The Big Ten had like 4. So the SEC is the toughest conference in the land. Not saying they got the best team, but they're the toughest conference. That's just per Nick Saban. Take it how you will.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's Nick Saban.
I think I would trust his opinion. You have a good point. If there's anybody's opinion, you should probably just pair it and take as your own. It'd be Nick Saban's.
Now,
I agree.
You're gonna find this real disappointing here, Andy. Yeah, but before we go. I do agree with our caller here. It's like I said, top to bottom. You can argue that Oregon and Ohio State right now are better football teams maybe than Texas or Georgia, but top to bottom, the SEC is just the best. It is the best division in college football.
I think you guys are sleeping on Indiana. Better watch out.
Very possible.
Very possible.
Yep. All right, see ya.
That's going to do it for our first hour. We'll be back after the break. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Your latest news on KGSO.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier. The company of Boeing wrapped up yesterday officially reporting their latest quarterly numbers, saying that they've lost near $444 million in the second quarter of 2026. KSN News reports that the Virginia-based company did lose roughly 67 cents per share, as according to the report, they say their results did not meet the Wall Street expectations. Overall, the company did post revenue of $24.56 billion in the period, exceeding the street forecast. However, they say they have decreased roughly 3% since the beginning of the year, while the S&P's Disease Index had increased at slightly of more than 8%. In other news, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment reported yesterday the number of cases for the cyclosporiasis parasite across the state of Kansas, as the Sedgwick County Health Department is also reminding individuals to stay vigilant with the ongoing spread of the parasite, with more than 20 hospitalizations happening statewide and more than 400 cases being reported. Sedgwick County and the city of Wichita has been one of the hot spots that the health officials have been focusing their attention on with the spread.
The news on KGSO is brought to you by Truck Stuff. Whether it's your camper, trailer, or both that need hauling, Truck Stuff has you covered. Online at truckstuffks.com or call 316-264-1908.
The Kansas City Royals shut out the Minnesota Twins last night and won by a score of 4-0. This is mainly due to the efforts of starting pitcher Randy Dobnak, who went 7 innings of work, 4 hits surrendered, no earned runs. This is Dobnak's first win in the majors since 2021, looking like a formidable midseason pickup for Kansas City. The two teams square off again today in the series rubber match, first pitch at 12:40 p.m. The Wichita Wind Surge lost their second in a row to the Springfield Cardinals by a score of 7-4. The Wind Surge will play Game 3 of 6 in their series against the Cardinals tonight at 7:05 Cent. That's sports. I'm Andy Stats.
Sports Report brought to you by Burwell Construction. Decks, pergolas, patio covers, roofing, siding, windows, guttering, and more. 316-794-3430 or online at burwellconstruction.com.
Are you in need of a new dentist? Check out 316 Dental at 13th and West Street. 316 Dental is now offering same-day services with the addition of a second dentist. That's right, same day. The hardworking team includes 4 hygienists and stays open late to fit your schedule. 316 Dental accepts most major insurance companies. Ask them about their new patient special that includes a comprehensive exam and x-rays. They also offer implants and Invisalign.
Care that soars above and beyond. 316 Dental.
10 days, 35 games, 16 teams from across the country. All of it comes down to one night, Saturday, August 1st. Downtown Wichita, Equity Bank Park. Championship night presented by Kansas 811. Crowns the 92nd NBC World Series champion. The best amateur baseball players in America right here under the lights. And when it's over, Black Hills Energy and Victory Pyrotechnics light up the Wichita sky. This is what summers are made of. Tickets at NBCBaseball.com.
The 92nd NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Sometimes it seems the crises just keep coming for children. COVID, war, drought, and famine. They can seem downright relentless. But you know what? So can our response. When helping children unites us, we are a force to be reckoned with. Where there is help, there is hope. It's why UNICEF won't stop, ever. Learn more at unicefusa.org/we won't stop.
Ag news from the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm James Guerin. Kansas cattle markets face immediate pressure as direct live slaughter trade pulled back to around $230 a hundredweight, down roughly $7. Short-bought packers added volume at lower figures following news of a phased reopening for the Mexican border. Meanwhile, persistent extreme heat across the Central Plains continues to stress feedlot cattle, driving mixed movement in futures as managers weigh weather stress against softer cash trade. Glenn Tonsor, a K-State livestock economist, tells us how the cattle markets are looking to him.
Yeah, this past week, the cash market, pulled back. The futures is trying to align with it. There's been lots of discussion about, the desire for them to realign. And we saw some of that this past week. AMS called the 5 market fed cattle price about $7 lower this past week at 230. They called the Kansas feeder cattle market lower. Of course, it depends on what weight class and what day I might quote, but, $8 to $10 lower would be a good summary comment for cash feeder cattle here in Kansas last week. Conversely, when we look at the board, August live cattle was $227, up about $3 for the week. And then feeder cattle, again, the August contract was $346, down about $1. So particularly on the fed and live cattle part of this, we saw cash and futures converging more this past week than they have in the past.
He explains what a desire to realign really means.
So there's been lots of discussion between the cash and the futures market, whether they follow different things, why they are on apart and so forth. And they are different markets, right, in different ways. So some are week to week and others are contracts that are months. And there's lots of, specification specificities, deliverables and so forth that I don't want to lose everybody with here. But regardless, when we use the term basis, we're talking about a relationship between any cash price, whether it's Kansas, Nebraska, whatever, and the CME, price. Knowing that is important for hedging decisions. It's important if you're going to use CME to come up with a localized price forecast and so forth.
Once again, that's Glenn Tonsor, a K-State livestock economist.
Some clouds early, maybe even a stray shower or rumble of thunder. As we get into the afternoon, we'll keep at least a slight chance of rain in. High up near 96 degrees. It'll feel more like 100 plus because of that humidity. Wind, it'll be out of the southeast 5 to 15, gust to 25. Overnight tonight, we'll keep that storm chance in, especially after midnight. Lows drop to 75 degrees. Storm should head out by sunrise. Highs on Friday, back to 96 with lots of sunshine. In the Cake First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Frank Waugh.
At 7 o'clock, it's currently 88
This
degrees.
is Wichita's sports station, K230PY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO Belle Plaine, Wichita. Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita. This is the Game Plan on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Hour number 2 of the Game Plan starts right now. You're in the right place at the right time. We are broadcasting live from our West Wichita studios at KGSO alongside Chuck Fairweather. My name's Andy Stats. Thanks for being here on this Thursday morning. This second hour is brought to you by Truck Stuff, located at 427 North Washington, where they have anything for your truck or SUV, hitches, tow straps, lighting, lift kits, and a whole lot more. Come see their complete shop with all of their certified technicians to install anything you may need put on your truck. Don't order online and get the wrong stuff. Let the pros at Truck Stuff take care of you. Over in the Facebook chat, we've had some people light up a little bit about this college football discussion we've been having. Trevor says, Chuck, you cannot say the name of the team we were talking about before from the Big Ten. It either has to be that team up north or Michigan. You're not allowed to say the name of that state in the state of Ohio.
We're not in Ohio.
Yeah, well, that's why I said it, because
You're listening in Ohio, and I apologize.
Hey!
No, you didn't. You let me finish my statement. I apologize that in the state of Ohio, that seems to be such a nasty word. But we're not in Ohio, so I have no skin in that game.
We are in Kansas right now, Toto.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
are. Carl says,
follow the yellow brick road.
But from Michigan, it's maize. They don't do yellow and blue. Carl, I see talking about my report from the Turf of the Star during Big 12 Media Days with Nitro. He's probably my favorite Big 12 mascot, to be honest with you. We're going to bring in a caller from the Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotlines. Good morning. You're live on KGSO.
Yeah, are we going to have Wyatt Thompson on this morning?
Say again.
Are we going to have Wyatt Thompson?
I don't have Wyatt's contact number.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get a hold of Wyatt.
Maybe he'll call in instinctively?
Possibly.
I hope so. I really hope so. It's Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats.
I had Stan's. I thought I had Wyatt's at one point, but I don't. So, unfortunately.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't have any way to contact him either.
So.
And Doug's somewhere, doing his thing. Anyways.
So for those that were looking forward to Wyatt Thompson this morning, I do apologize. I do not have his contact number like I thought I did. So unfortunately, we'll have to touch base with him next week.
We'll still talk K-State stuff, absolutely. I think we still have to put a little bit of a bow on the current conversation we have right now.
Sure.
All I was going to say, we saw different rankings for the strength of schedules between these four teams. Texas was considered to have the hardest schedule. Who is this based off of?
This is a site that I found, collegefootballnews.com.
So Texas had the hardest schedule on there.
They did a ranking. This came out 4 days ago, ranking the upcoming season's schedules for all Division I teams. And yes, Texas had the hardest schedule. Number 2 was Oklahoma. Number 3, Purdue. 4, Arkansas. 5, Alabama. 6, Missouri. 7, the Maize and Blue. Michigan.
That is what they're called, yes.
Number 8, Florida. 9, LSU. 10, Colorado. To be able to find the other schools we were talking about, you have to look into the 20s.
Ridiculous.
And that's Oregon, and we weren't far off here. They had Oregon at 20. They have Ohio State at 24, and they had Georgia at 25.
Oregon does not have an easy or a more difficult schedule than Ohio State and Georgia. That is ludicrous. That is ridiculous. That is absurd. They play Boise State, Oklahoma State, Portland State, and then later stretch in the year, they have Nebraska, Illinois, and Northwestern. Don't forget UCLA, sandwiched between those.
Here's what they say about, and you're talking about...
This is Oregon.
Oregon? Here's what they have to say about Oregon's schedule. The layup against Portland State from the SCF keeps the overall schedule toughness from being far higher than this. There's no Indiana or Penn State to deal with, but that's about it for Big Ten breaks. At USC, at Illinois, at Ohio State, and throw in at Michigan State, considering the trip to East Lansing comes after dealing with both the Buckeyes and Michigan. For most teams, that's enough to get 3 losses and be out of the college football playoff.
I don't know.
Okay, but this isn't most teams. This is Oregon.
This is Oregon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A top 3 team in the country.
Yeah, if it was Purdue going to Ohio State and then playing Michigan and then going to East Lansing, sure, okay. This is Oregon. Dante Moore is playing his however many years of college football he's playing. Okay, this guy has more experience than anybody else in college football. A lot of this team is choosing to run it back under head coach Dan Lanning because they think this can be their year, because they have all that experience. They're trying to do what IU did last year. This is Oregon. Stop giving them excuses. Come on.
They also say the Wolverines and Washington at home in November will be dangerous.
I mean, yes and no. You're acting like Washington is the 2023 team that made it to the CFP finals. No. No, it is not. They're down a head coach. They don't have the same guy coaching them. DeBoer's in Tuscaloosa now. What are we talking about? Are we already making excuses for the Oregon Ducks again? A team that's never won a national title?
Apparently.
Oh, my goodness.
Boise State and Oklahoma and at Oklahoma State should be wins for the loaded Ducks, but that's not an easy way to jump into the season.
Oh, bite me. Oh, come on. I understand Ohio State's playing Ball State, but they play Texas in Texas week 2. Oh, but we're giving them the benefit of the doubt because they got to go play Oklahoma State, who hasn't mattered since I was in middle school.
So while you're on the verge of an aneurysm, let's see what they have to say about Ohio State.
I'm curious because I don't think Ohio State is the 24th most difficult schedule in the country. I said it was top 10. It was not top 5. It was top 10. Take it away, Chuck.
The Buckeyes get 2 games early on against Ball State and Kent State to gear everything up, but this year's schedule is far nastier than last year's. It's about the road games. They'll crack just about anyone else. Those 2 games against MAC teams keep the schedule from technically being far tougher, but at Texas, at Iowa, at Indiana, at USC, and even the date at Nebraska is tough late with the Michigan game right after. If that wasn't enough, Oregon comes to Columbus.
Okay. Thank you, because when they said, "Oh, it's only the road games they have to worry about," I'm like, "Are we skipping over Oregon coming to town?" And we just went on this rant about how Oregon's a good team.
I think what they're saying is what really hurt their schedule as far as the rankings go are the 2 MAC teams,
which I understand.
So,
but they act like Texas and Georgia are going and playing.
Georgia's got 25. Here's Georgia's. It's hard to complain too much with only 4 true road games and 2 of them are against Arkansas and South Carolina programs that didn't go bowling last year. But it's not that simple. Yes, there are only 4 road games, but the cocktail party against Florida is in Atlanta this year. That will still likely mean Georgia, but there's only 1 game in Athens in a 5-week stretch. Not playing Kentucky or Mississippi State isn't a positive. Those are 2 of the likely weaker SEC teams this year. Going to Alabama and Ole Miss is hard, and having to deal with Oklahoma won't be easy.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. The big thing with this, I don't want the whole, SEC plays such a tough schedule, this is very difficult, to then be turned around and then people like Steve Sarkisian last week at SEC Media Days were whining about it. He says, if we don't play Ohio State and we play like Jones Junior Tech or whatever like that, we probably make the playoff. No, I thought you guys were bragging about how it's different down there. You're playing a different brand of football. You can't have your cake and eat it too. My point is, they can't flip this on themselves to then say, oh, this is why we can't make the playoff. It's because we play such a tough schedule compared to everybody else. Wham, wham, wham. When all you do is boast about it in the offseason that these other teams aren't playing as hard a schedule as you, when some metrics have Ohio State and some Big Ten teams playing a harder schedule than Georgia. I don't get it. I know it's not Georgia at fault there. I'm talking about Sarkisian in Texas. It's just this interesting dynamic that has never been able to be resolved. And I don't think it's ever going to be resolved unless we just put every team in the playoffs. So then no team can complain about schedules. And then we're just playing exhibition games weeks 1 through 12 just to get ready for the meaningless conference championship games and the first round of the playoffs. I feel very strongly about this, Chuck. Can you tell?
I know. I can tell.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I don't like the rhetoric surrounding it. I just want teams to go play ball.
Do you care for the synopsis for Texas?
We're deep in this already. Let's continue to go down the rabbit hole. Why not?
All throughout last year, the early loss to Ohio State put the pressure on the Longhorns to be perfect. They promptly went 9-3. That's a home game, but that's a home game this year. The team only leaves Texas once until November, and there's no Georgia or Alabama. Everything else is brutal. Ohio State is great no matter where it's playing. Opening the SEC season with Oklahoma and at Tennessee is a problem before getting going. You'd like to have more of the tough games at home. Ole Miss comes to Austin, but Florida, Arkansas, and Mississippi State are home dates, and the Longhorns go on the road for Louisiana and Texas A&M. Throw in Missouri in the date with Tennessee, and oof.
Yes, they have a difficult schedule this year, but I don't want Steve Sarkisian to turn around and say that's the reason that he missed the playoff. Last year, sure, they went 9-3, okay? A lot of times, depending on who those losses are to, that could be good enough to get you in the playoff. We've seen it last year with Alabama. They had the same record and they got in. The thing is, Sark, you lost to Ohio State. Tough loss. That team was far and away like a top 3 team in the country. You lost to 4-8 Florida. You let Kentucky take you to overtime. Okay? Like, I just don't want to hear it that Ohio State is the reason that you didn't make the college football playoff.
So let me ask you this question. Looking at Texas's schedule, and you've got it there.
I do.
What 3 teams do you think they could lose to, go 9-3, and still make the playoffs this year?
If Texas loses to Ohio State, if they lose to Oklahoma, I think there's a couple options for game number 3. I think those 2 are the top 2 that stand out. I would give them, if they lost to, if Ole Miss is as good as I think they'll be, I'd say Ole Miss. And then I think if they lose to A&M, they'd still get in.
Okay.
Because I think the Big Ten gets Ohio State in, they get Oregon in, and maybe they get IU in. If IU goes 9-3, they're not making the playoffs. I don't care who the 3 losses are to. I'm giving Texas that benefit of the doubt. I would hope the voters did. Now, if they lose to, well, obviously this probably goes without saying, if they lose to UTSA or like Arkansas or something, like if they lose to Ohio State, but then they also lose to like Arkansas and Missouri, no, I'm not giving them that.
No?
No, because it's the same thing as last year. How do you let Kentucky, who ended up 5-7 and destroying a Florida team, who that Florida team also turn around and beat you, going 4-8 last year, how can you complain that that's the reason you missed the playoff? Why are you still whining about this? It just screams of insecurity from Sark, who got bested by Ohio State 2 years ago in the college football playoff.
Whoa. Easy on Sark there.
Why easy on Sark?
I'm not.
He's whining about a schedule that he helped handcraft.
Come on now.
He's whining about it. Hey, all you had to say was, we got beat. We got to be better this year.
I think what his point when he was talking about the schedule, though, last year was they say you got to schedule tough, you got to schedule tough, you got to schedule tough. And then when he does schedule tough, he still gets punished by it.
Don't lose to Florida. They're 4-8. Listen. I know
Florida's still tougher than a lot of teams that a lot of non-con teams that some of these schools choose to schedule. Of course, he's got 2 gimmies still there, but
look, I can understand this isn't a black and white issue.
I sound like Doug fighting for the SEC, or what the hell is wrong with me? Yeah. See, this just proves that sometimes I like to stir up debate just for the sake of debate.
I'm stirred up.
That I could argue either side here.
Yeah.
Normally I'm the anti-SEC guy on this program.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I could try and play devil's advocate here. I can recognize that this is not a black and white issue, right? It's not that, Steve Sarkisian has a point. If they don't play Ohio State last year, they probably make the playoff because 10-2 looks better than 9-3, no matter who the losses are to. But my point is, you lost to Ohio State by a touchdown, and you were still in it for the entire season, even if you looked downright, wishy-washy at some points. Don't lose to Florida, and you won't have that issue. That's what people have been telling the Big Ten for a while. I'm gonna throw my arms up and give up on this topic. I think. I'm sorry, guys.
Listen,
we're fired up. It's football season, baby. Almost. It's July 30th. We're doing this already.
It's not even a football Friday.
Oh, what are we going to do tomorrow then?
We're going to have to figure something out.
Yeah. We're going to have to figure something out. But
think we ought to switch gears to the NFL maybe?
I will follow your lead, Chuck.
Okay.
If you got something.
Well, I just was going to ask you, there's all kinds of video out of some of the first few reps of practice for Kansas City.
Yes.
Mahomes out bouncing around like a gazelle.
Yeah, did you see the videos of him just walking and I guess existing?
A massive brace all on his left leg.
I think it was Devin who said that yesterday. That is like a huge bionic joint, it looks like, for him. Like, he looks like RoboCop with that thing on. He really does. It's scary almost.
I don't know. If you've got to wear a brace like that to be able to play, are you as far back as you... And the brace may be precautionary, and yes. I hope it is. But if you've got to wear a brace like that to be able to play, are you as far back as you think you are?
Well, this goes back to your point of you don't think Patrick Mahomes should be out there doing what he's doing right now.
I don't.
Like, are you saying not necessarily playing in, like, do you think he should be clear for 11 on 11, still doing that, and then just not playing in the game when it comes around? Or do you think he should not even be participating in that? He should be doing 7 on 7 stuff.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't be participating in practice because, look, they don't hit the quarterbacks in practice anyhow.
Right.
Right.
They get the non-contact shirts. Yeah.
You know, Lord knows if they do, the whole team's going to come down on that one guy that hit him.
Yeah. Instant cut. I don't care who you are. You are off the team.
What the hell are you doing?
It's that Vince Lombardi. What the hell is going on out there?
Like the scene from The Replacements. Hey, good hit. Do you see what this red jersey? This red jersey means don't hit me. Yeah. Sorry, coach. I'm just like a bull.
Can't help it. A couple of things that I noticed observing some of the reports coming out of Chiefs training camp. First things first, so this is something I mentioned on my Garden City show a lot. The only question mark for the Chiefs when it comes to their offensive line was at right tackle, whether it was going to be one of the young guys that they have trying out for a spot, whether it was going to be veteran Jalen Moore, who's to me. Jalen Moore got all the first-team reps, though. So, I mean, the offensive line outside of Moore, the interior O-line, left tackle, Jonathan Simmons, as long as he's healthy, is phenomenal. He's just the only question mark, and I guess the good thing is he'll be on Mahomes' front side. It'd be different if he was on his blind side. Then it's something you got to fix, especially with him being hurt. But thought that was of note. There were mid-practice departures of Rashee Rice, wide receiver, and then veteran cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, who's rejoining the team. They both planned it apart because they're rehabbing some separate injuries. Of course, Rashee Rice had that whole knee thing before he ended up spending some time in jail this summer and ended up coming back to the Chiefs facility to try and rehab that all. I did see... I'm going to start with the bad and then get to the good. I did see a video of the very first rep of Patrick Mahomes in 11-on-11 drills. Chuck, have you seen it?
Yeah, saw a little bit of video, yeah.
Okay, the very first rep of his, he drops back and he looks quite stiff in the pocket, but he takes a 2-step drop, and you could see in the video that one of the guys that we talked about is going to be a key X factor this year to replace the productivity of Trent McDuffie is the rookie cornerback Mansour Delane. He gets absolutely cooked on this inside route from Tyquan Thornton, who's probably going to be WR3 this year. Mahomes puts a pass pretty much right in the breadbasket of Thornton, and he drops it. So things didn't start off great in training camp for Patrick Mahomes and company. It's not going to let's hope that's not emblematic of what's going to happen this year. But yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine that was a welcome. Actually, if I'm going to play the video real quick, you could just hear the crowd reaction compared to what they expected and where things went. Listen to this. Yeah, that's not what they came to see. I thought that was funny.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Phooey. We have a call on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment hotlines. The one thing I wanted to say, I started with the bad, I was going to get to the good. Cyrus Allen, who was the rookie that the Chiefs took in the 6th round out of the University of Cincinnati, Andy Reid very much complimentary of him, very much saying that him and Patrick Mahomes have already established some trust. So maybe we'll have to dive into that. But first, we want to hear from our caller on the phones. Good morning. You're live on KGSO.
Good morning, man. I'm not even sure which leg was it that Patrick got hurt.
I believe it was his left.
Yes, that's correct.
That's better than the right, isn't it? Because doesn't he push off with his right to throw a deep ball?
That's an excellent point. Yeah. It's not his plant foot where it's going to get all the pressure and he's going to gear up and transfer his momentum back before going forward. It is Patrick Mahomes, and he needs both legs to run for his escapability. I don't think that's a groundbreaking innovation to anybody. So it's still going to matter, but it's not going to matter as much as if he was just a gunslinger and it was his plant foot.
Well, no, you're absolutely right. It still matters, but my point was that the first time that he throws a deep ball and it comes up about a yard and a half short and they intercept it, it was going to get blamed on that knee if it was his right leg. But now it'll just be that he made a bad pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything that I saw yesterday, his accuracy still hasn't left him. He still looks sharp when it comes to the ball leaving his hand, that quick release that we're used to of him. A lot more stuff in the pocket, of course. And, that brings up a good point. With Kenneth Walker in the backfield, do the Chiefs go under center a lot more and bring in an extra tight end more often than not and still try to air the ball out with that? I think it's an interesting point if the play calling is going to change drastically to still show the strengths of Patrick Mahomes, but also just protect their $500 million quarterback.
Right, but boy, that goes against everything that's in Andy Reid's soul.
Right,
but they need to. I don't know if they will, but it sure benefits Kenneth Walker III because that's his whole season last year was predicated upon the quarterback being under center. And hopefully he can catch a ball out of the backfield. Well, I guess we'll find out.
I did see a report of one of the throws that Mahomes made that was really impressive for a lot of folks was to Walker. They ran some sort of misdirection, and he had Walker open in the end zone on a wheel route, and Kenneth tipped it to himself and caught it. So,
well, good.
That's something,
good.
Right? Hey, we'll take any sort of good news.
Doggone right. And don't be too surprised at drop passes. Didn't they lead the league in drop passes ago? I mean, that's kind of part of their DNA also.
Yeah, shoot, I believe it.
Yeah.
Remember, do I need to bring up Kadarius Toney?
Not too much, no.
Yikes.
No, wait till I hang up, and then you can talk about him all you want.
Fair enough.
You guys be good.
Sounds good, bud. Thank you.
Sean on Facebook said Chiefs wide receivers look to be in midseason form already. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it takes all kinds.
Yeah, well, if we are going to have some sort of good news about wide receivers, Chuck, you and I both said the big thing that we think might stymie the Chiefs this year was the fact that they didn't draft a wide receiver early on. And so the last thing I'll play before we go to break here, and I actually might start our break real quick, here's what Andy Reid specifically had to say about rookie Cyrus Allen, who they picked in the 6th round.
Cyrus had a good day today with him, and I think Pat's got some trust there. We got a long way to go, right? But it's we just got to keep going, keep growing.
High praise for Allen. He had a 4.49 40 time at his pro day. He's 5'11", 51 catches, 670 yards, 13 touchdowns last year at the University of Cincinnati. Good sign of things to come?
There you go.
I sure hope so. The word trust, him saying trust between him and Mahomes, I think that's a big thing.
I would agree.
Might talk some more Chiefs, might talk some more football. You'll have to stick around and find out on the Game Plan.
This segment of the Game Plan is brought to you by Moneytown Pawn on Oliver, just south of Pawnee. Tools, electronics, firearms, jewelry, and more. Find what you need at Moneytown Pawn.
The Game Plan. KGSO.
Want to hear more of KGSO? Don't forget to download our app today. Fill out weekly surveys. Register to win great prizes. Listen live. Message our shows and so much more. Plus, get reminders of special programming and games you don't want to miss. Just find SC Wichita in your app store and make KGSO your new favorite app. It's Wichita Sports Talk, right on your phone. Download the SC Wichita app today with Wichita Sports Station, KGSO.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
It's towing season, so that means it's time to come see the experts at Truck Stuff. Whether you're needing a hitch, a gooseneck or bumper pull, a brake controller, or airbags to level the ride, we've got you covered. We'll guide you on what suits your vehicle best so that you can have a safe and enjoyable trip. Whether you want to install it yourself or have our professional installers do it here, we thank you for shopping local at Truck Stuff at their corner of Central and Washington.
Tricked out, decked out, check us out, Truck Stuff.
Imagine a tropical paradise where the sun always shines and the fun never ends. Welcome to Blast Off Bay, the ultimate indoor water park. Catch a wave on our state-of-the-art surf machine, unwind with a cold drink at the poolside bar, or relax in our warm, inviting hot tub. Then get ready for thrills on 11 exciting water slides that'll take your breath away. Hungry? Enjoy pizza, burgers, wings, and more. Open 365 days a year with a perfect climate every day. Don't wait. Plan your escape today to Blast Off Bay.
Are you looking for a better healthcare experience this summer? Kingman Healthcare Center is a full-service hospital with a 24/7 emergency room with little to no wait times. Our clinics offer same-day appointments and convenient scheduling for your annual checkups. Don't wait. Make your health a top priority and schedule your appointment today. You won't regret the short drive without the big city traffic. Exceptional care every time. To learn more, visit our website, kingmanhc.com.
Where'd you get that grin? Right above your chin. You know the place. Puts a smile on your face. Andy's the one. Frozen custard fun. Made fresh every hour. It's your happy power. Top your day. With a smile at Andy's.
Did you know my frozen custard is made fresh every hour? Or that our toppings are baked daily right in our stores? It's how we top your day with a smile at Andy's.
10 days, 35 games, 16 teams from across the country. All of it comes down to one night, Saturday, August 1st. Downtown Wichita, Equity Bank Park. Championship night presented by Kansas 811. Crowns the 92nd NBC World Series champion. The best amateur baseball players in America right here under the lights. And when it's over, Black Hills Energy and Victory Pyrotechnics light up the Wichita sky. This is what summers are made of. Tickets at NBCBaseball.com.
The 92nd NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon James. Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
Who's your favorite team? It's okay. We just know you love KGSO.
Rocking out on a Thursday morning alongside Chuck Fairweather. My name's Andy Statz. Thanks for joining us here on the Game Plan, live from our West Wichita studios at KGSO. Wow, that guitar's still going. That's a mean riff we got going on right now. Heck yeah. This segment is brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard, the best frozen custard in Wichita and surrounding areas. Frozen custard made fresh in their store every hour. Yes, every hour. Their baked goods are made fresh every day. Go on out and check out their brand new location in Derby or any of their 3 locations in the ICT. Celebrating 40 years in business, that's Andy's Frozen Custard. Okay, got the binder set down. I'm pulling my chair up, and I think we're back ready to continue talking some sports in and around the great state of Kansas. We talked about JHX Hoops a little earlier on, and while their run in the TBT came to an end, Jayhawk fans still have a lot to be excited about. Head coach Bill Self providing some post-summer updates in a press conference over in Lawrence yesterday. The 14 players in the roster get to head back to wherever they may call home after 2 solid months of summer workouts. We're going to play you a snippet of what Bill Self had to say to lead off his press conference. Let us know what you think about it. When we're done playing this, feel free to also hop in and join the conversation on our phones, 316-522-1410. That's 316-522-1410. But without further ado, here's Coach Self.
It is early, but yeah, I think we've had a good summer. I think we've certainly improved since the end of last year with our two returning guys, and the new guys have all gotten better. It's been a good group to coach. They have been very teachable and certainly have hooked up and got after it. So I've been real pleased. We're nowhere close to being a team or where we hope to be. But I think that we've had some individuals progress, and even more importantly, I think we've kind of learned that there's a way that we should play offensively to give us the best chance, and I think the guys have all bought into that.
What does that look like for this team to be optimal offensive, just based on what you were just saying?
Last year, I actually believe, from a scoring standpoint, you had a first and second option in one guy. This year I think we'll be more balanced, without question. I also think we have a collective group of better and willing passers. And of course, Tyron's the key to that. He's about as good a passer as I've ever been around. So I'm excited about that. Now, with that being said, you still got to make shots and get the ball in the basket, but we shot it a lot better this summer than what I probably even projected going into the summer. We've had some guys shoot the ball really well.
And then the news of the hour is the Duke exhibition, just how that kind of come together. And I know you had previously in years past wanted to have one on the road. How did these kind of all end up being home this year?
Well, last question first. Louisville owed us a game. Yeah. And then of course we playing an in-state team, and then I think if you get a chance to play Duke at home in a unique way that's set up, and then us actually go back to their place next year, I think I personally think it's great. I think from a fan standpoint, getting Louisville and Duke at home, I think definitely adds to the attraction of our schedule immediately. Those 2 games aren't the biggest games on our schedule by any means, but the appearance of having them that early in the season, I think people will be pretty amped up to watch them.
Stokes is the second top-rated player in 2 years to come here. We hear a lot about him. What has he done that's impressed you the most?
We all knew that he was skilled. He can rebound and bring it. He can do a lot of different things. I'd say that there's 2 things that have impressed me the most about him. Is he can shoot the basketball. I mean, he is. If that's a weakness, and we're going to be in pretty good business. He can shoot the ball, and then the other thing, he's an elite passer. He's got great vision to the point where he should probably shoot more at times, but he's a pass-first guy. So I think those are 2 things that I think are contagious, especially the pass-first part of it. And he'll be a fun guy to try to utilize and play to his bag so to speak, because he's got a lot in his bag.
All right, Self went on. The press conference is about 25 or so minutes long. We're not going to listen to the entire thing, but I just wanted to give our listeners at least a little bit of a synopsis of what the head man in Lawrence had to say. Just as a quick refresher, the Jayhawks 24 wins, 11 losses a year ago. They lost to St. John's on that buzzer beater in the round of 32 in March Madness. As Self mentioned, two returning guys, Cole Rosario and Paul Mbaya, who saw the court in marginal stretches, didn't really contribute all that much. You know, if you look at the per-game statistics, Rosario averaged 3.4 points per game in about 12 minutes. Mbaya had about 5 minutes per game and averaged about 1.2. So not a ton of productivity returning, at least when you look at the on-court numbers from a year ago. But the most notable person that's departing, of course, is Darren Peterson. He's going to be playing in the big leagues over in the NBA now. There's the biggest question surrounding this team is going to be, with this massive influx of talent, can it all be corralled? And the player that was asked and Self spoke about most was Tyron Stokes. He was the number one recruit in the country. He took to national TV to make his commitment, if anybody remembers, inside the NBA. And you heard Bill Self talk about him there. He said he was a great passer. He could really shoot the ball. You know, I mean, Stokes averaged 31, 13, and 6 his senior year. So I think there's a lot to be excited about in Lawrence. The thing that's going to be difficult to manage, and this is not new for any stretch of Bill Self's career in Lawrence here, but almost every single guy that's going to be playing real minutes out there is going to be brand new to this program. And that's just the state of college basketball right now. But I think if there's any guy that can put them all together, it'd probably be Bill Self.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, except for the fact that it always seems like Bill Self traditionally gets off to a slow start with these teams where he's got a lot of new players. And with the state of college sports right now, that's every year now. Yeah. Like, somehow he's got to figure out how to get these teams off to a quicker start, because I think that's what puts KU behind the 8-ball every year now. I mean, you look at when KU had went on that run of Big 12 championships, there wasn't as much movement in college athletics. There was more. There were more guys that he had on his roster for multiple years. To me, Bill Self is kind of one of those guys that he's the epitome of player development. You know, especially even at a school like KU, that they'll get some of those blue chip prospects. Now, every once in a while, he would have that one and done, two and done guy, but he also had guys on the roster that were there with him for multiple years that he could develop and plug into the starting lineup when they were junior and freshman in college, rather than, you know, just freshmen and sophomores all the time.
That's a good point.
Or transfer players all the time. The fact that he doesn't have as much time to get these guys to gel together, I think that's taken a toll on KU over the last 5 years.
That's a good point. I mean, you think of the journeymen of the Jayhawks. You know, Frank Mason, who's been balling out in the TBT, is one of them. I remember Perry Ellis and the jokes about him being in school for like 15 years and stuff. But those were glue guys that actually had some sort of continuity for the program one year to the next. And while this program does have the two returning guys, and actually maybe a third, it depends if Melvin Council Jr. wins his lawsuit against the NCAA to gain another year of eligibility. But my point is, even if he returns alongside Paul Mbaya and Cole Rosario, you know, those necessarily aren't guys that are going to move the needle a whole lot. I mean, Council did start 35 games last year. He started every game he played, and he averaged 12.7. But he was the fourth leading scorer, right? Darren Peterson's gone. Trey White's gone. Flory Badunga's gone. Bryson Tiller, who I thought was going to be like the next Jayhawk for years to come, he's gone too. While I'm really excited about this portal class, while I'm really excited about the recruits coming out of college, I mean, you know, they are coming out of high school, excuse me. I mean, they got Tyron Stokes, a 5-star. They got Taylon Kinney, a 5-star guard. It still leaves a lot to be desired. That's a good point, Chuck. I think fans still long for like a Jayhawk man, right? Someone that's been there for multiple years, and you could look at him and say, yes, that's a Kansan right there.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, you look at the Big 12 champion over the course, dating back to 1996. Kansas won the first two. Then it was Texas, Iowa State twice. Then it was Kansas the next two, Oklahoma State in 2003. And then from 2004 to 2019, Kansas went on a run where they had, if not the entire, they were either champions or co-champions for, what is that? 1, 3.
A lot,
9,
I'm guessing,
10,
yeah.
12. 16 straight years where they were either champs or co-champs. And they haven't won. I take that back. That was 19 that streak ended. Baylor was in 2020. Kansas shared it with them in 21, wanted to get in 22. And then the last 3 years, it just seems like they haven't been the same. And you really look at when the momentum really picked up for the transfer portal and all of these things started happening. It was about 4 or 5 years ago when that really all started kind of going down. Well, 2021, that Bill Self was on the tail end of his last group of guys that stayed in school all 4 years.
Yeah.
And since then, they haven't been able to quite figure it out like he has in the past. Now, you hate to sit there and say just because he hasn't won a Big 12 championship in 3 whole years that, something's wrong with KU. I'm not saying that either. But for a program like Kansas, even 3 years off the championship ladder kind of says something. I mean, that's how lights out year in and year out this program has been. We're only 3 years removed from them winning a Big 12 championship, and you're starting to ask what's wrong with Kansas.
It's a good point, actually. And now that you think about it, the last 2 national championship, and actually the 2 under Bill Self, there was at least 2-3 guys there that had been with the team for at least 3 years. The 2022 team, right? You think of Ochai Agbaji, who was a senior. You think of Christian Braun, who was a junior, and they both are currently still in the NBA to this day. And going all the way back to my arch nemesis, I told you that story, Mario Chalmers in that 2008 team, it was him. Brandon Rush was on that team. I want to say, oh my goodness, who else was an upperclassman on that team? Cole Aldrich was on that team. I don't know if he was an upperclassman. But my point is, I don't want to say that the portal era and the NIL has done a number on Bill Self. Clearly, I think it has. And yeah, it's crazy that a 3-year drought in the Big 12 championships can affect Kansas fans this much. However, with the influx of talent, and I mean this mainly not even from the portal, but the freshmen coming in, this really seems like, and I listened to the Bill Self press conference, he was talking like a guy that knows this is probably his best chance since that last title to reach the mountaintop again. And he sounded like a guy that maybe, just maybe, wants to go out on top if that does happen, and this would be it for him in Lawrence. I know we had some conversations about that before at the end of the season, like, hey, is he done? What's going on there? He admitted there's still some holes in this team. He said they're nowhere near ready. They want to maybe get another big man. They had some Serbian Musikic, who's 7 foot, 6'11", I forget what it is, maybe visit. They haven't signed him. They have a couple other scholarships left to give out still. So they want to get another big man. The big reason why Christian Reeves, the senior center, he's out till like October following a surgery in his labrum. But I don't know. Do you think this could be it for Bill Self, regardless of whether he wins the title or not? I know that's a very difficult question to answer this early in the offseason.
I mean, it's difficult to answer because I don't think there's nobody that's going to answer that question for Bill Self except for Bill Self.
Yeah.
And I think would it surprise me if it was this year? No. Would it surprise me if it was 5 years down the road? No. Would it surprise me if it was 10 more years down the road? No. I don't know what Bill Self is thinking in that regard. But if he feels like this is his best chance to be successful, it is as best of a chance as what he's had, compared to the last 3 or 4 years, and he ends up, not being able to do anything with it, or this team underperforms, could I see him going, man, I don't like the way that college athletics is taking a turn here. I don't like the way we're having to recruit now. I don't like not being able to develop guys over the course of multiple years. I'm done. Absolutely. You've seen a lot of that in football.
Yeah.
Listen, that's the reason why Nick Saban isn't coaching anymore.
Yeah. It's a good point. It's all good points, really. Bill Self, very complimentary of a lot of members of his team. The guy he said was his biggest surprise, Luke Barnett, who they signed out of high school from California. He said he was the best shooter they've had since Grady Dick. High praise as Grady Dick's still in the NBA. So, still very bullish on the Jayhawks this year. Is it going to be Bill Self's last ride or hopefully reach the mountaintop? We'll have to see. We'll talk about it a little bit more after the break, right here on the Game Plan.
Call the Game Plan now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The Game Plan. KGSO.
The NBC Baseball World Series is back, and your home for all the primetime games is right here on Wichita's sports station, KGSO. From the first pitch to the championship game, KGSO is your home for all your favorite Kansas teams and primetime games. Enjoy the best collegiate players from around the country as they gather for the annual NBC Baseball World Series. And it's right here on KGSO.
Brought to you by the Mark May Allstate Insurance Agency and Pride Egg Ace Hardware of Mays.
A lot of homes built in the 90s still have their original siding and windows. If this is you, then call Burwell Construction at 316-794-3430. New siding and windows can make your house more energy efficient. Burwell Construction has been a trusted name for thousands of homeowners. Call them today, 316-794-3430, and let Burwell Construction give you a free estimate on windows and siding. And Burwell Construction will take care of all your guttering needs. Find them online at burwellconstruction.com.
If it's built well, it's Burwell. Burwell Construction.
Fox Sports. Fox Kansas is Wichita's home for exciting live sports action. Saturday, it's an afternoon of exciting horse racing action as Fox Saratoga Saturday showcases the Jim Dandy Stakes from 2 to 5. Then two of Major League Baseball's biggest brands collide as the Yankees battle the Cubs at 6. Play ball! And on Sunday, the basketball tournament championship game crowns the $2 million winner with a 12 noon tip-off. Fox Sports. Fox Kansas. Channel 24. Cox Cable Channel 4.
10 days, 35 games, 16 teams from across the country. All of it comes down to one night, Saturday, August 1st. Downtown Wichita, Equity Bank Park. Championship night presented by Kansas 811. Crowns the 92nd NBC World Series champion. The best amateur baseball players in America right here under the lights. And when it's over, Black Hills Energy and Victory Pyrotechnics light up the Wichita sky. This is what summers are made of. Tickets at NBCBaseball.com.
The 92nd NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Pride Ag Ace Hardware will get you ready for the lake now that summer is officially here. Start with the grill. Whether you need gas, pellet, or flat tops, Pride Ag has it all with top brands like Halo and Napoleon. Whichever one you choose, Meat Church Rubs, exclusively at Ace, will make your meat delicious. With the meat on the grill, keep your drinks cool with Yeti cooler and cups, and entertain the whole party with the Turtle Box speaker. Get everything you need to have fun at the lake this summer at Pride Ag Ace Hardware in Mays, 5204 North Mays Road.
It's time for you to experience the expertise in beer, wine, and spirits. With 2 locations across Wichita, Auburn Spirits is passionate about providing you with the most exclusive wines, unique beers, and world-class spirits. Whether it's for the big game, a night with family and friends, or any other special occasion, Auburn Spirits takes your celebration to the next level. Visit our east or west location in Wichita or find out more information online at auburnspirits.com.
For upcoming games, show lineups, and live streaming, find us online at kgso.com.
No trophy, no flowers, no flashbulbs, no wine. He's haunted by something he cannot define. Bowel-shaking earthquakes of doubt and remorse assail him, impale him with monster truck force.
Welcome back into the Game Plan, 7:48 your time here in Wichita. Thanks for joining Chuck Fairweather and myself, Andy Stats. You know, Chuck, I think the ceiling for the Kansas Jayhawks is winning the national title and going undefeated, and I think the floor is if they lose every game. What say you?
Yes. I think there's quite a few other teams that would fit that same category.
It's crazy how similar they can be in that regards, right? I love making a mockery of sports talk segments as a sports talk radio show host. Anyways.
That's a hell of a ceiling and floor you just sat. I'll just put it that way.
Casting a wide net. Let's call it that.
I don't know if the floor and ceiling can get any further apart.
Unless if the program dissolved, I guess, would be the only further floor.
Well,
let's not hope for that, or else what are we going to talk about during the winters?
Geez, careful. You're going to have KU fans calling in, going all scorched earth on us.
No, hey, if you see my Garden City studio, I have a Jayhawk book bag in there. I have assimilated. I am one of Kansas sports fans. But don't worry, Wildcat fans. I have a Wildcat clock in there, if that makes sense. I also have a Wichita State Shockers little soup mug. I've covered all my bases. Anyways. Don't?
You can't just... I got this from KU and this from K-State and this from Wichita State, so we're okay.
Well, I can't pick one of the three. There's no favoritism. I love them all.
We could take stuff down.
Okay. I'll take the LeBron James high school jersey down first. What say you?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. This final segment of the second hour is brought to you by Meadowlark Landscape and Design, the top professionals in the landscape business. They have fertilization for your yard, irrigation systems installed and repaired, landscaping for flower beds and rock beds. Plus, don't forget your outdoor kitchens and patios, everything that you could possibly need for any of those. Give them a call at 316-880-0227. Meadowlark Landscape and Design is the official landscape company of KGSO. To finish off this hour, Chuck, I think we're going to switch to baseball really quick. I think MLB writer Ann Rogers put this one perfectly. If you're having trouble explaining the Royals' 2026 season amid all of the struggles, disappointment, injuries, here's two more things that might be perplexing to read. Tyler Tolbert homered, Salvador Perez tripled, and the Royals' starting pitcher recorded a win for the first time in half a decade, and the Royals recorded a shutout and won 4-0 over the Twins at Target Field.
What?
Pigs are flying is what we're trying to say.
How did they? Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to follow that line of thought here. Go through that again.
Tyler Tolbert homered.
Okay.
Salvador Perez tripled.
Okay.
And the Royals starting pitcher recorded a win for the first time in half a decade. And the Royals won 4-0.
So that must the Royals pitcher recording a win. That must be with the other two as a combo.
No,
is that what they're saying?
Randy Dobnak. It was the first win for him in half a decade. Maybe I didn't. That's on me.
For him
that's on
specific, I was like, how is it that the Royals pitcher hasn't recorded a win in half a? What's going on here?
You believed it for half a second,
I was
though,
really
huh?
confused. I was trying to follow the line of thought.
Yes.
I'm like, this is not the math ain't mathin' here.
We don't do math on this show, despite me being Andy Stats.
Okay, but you get where I was like,
yes, no, that one's on me. That one's on me. Yes, Randy Dobnak, who has dealt with
the starting pitcher, not just the Royals starter, like the
I should have
starting
said
pitcher.
the Royals starter recorded.
Okay,
yes.
all right. Now that makes more sense.
Okay, yeah. So the reason why Randy Dobnak has not recorded a win in about half a decade
because he sucks.
No. No.
Okay.
He's dealt with injuries.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the guy that the Royals picked up midseason. So he actually played with the Twins for a while. They dealt him to Detroit, and then he bounced around the minors before the Royals picked him up because, well, their starting rotation has been quite injured themselves. So Dobnak got picked up about a month ago, and in 5 games with the Royals and 3 starts, he's allowed 3 runs, 26 innings. That's an ERA of 1.04. That's pretty good. 12 scoreless innings his past 2 starts against the Tigers and the Twins. He pitched 7 scoreless. Daniel Lynch and Steven Cruz both pitching an inning of scoreless baseball to record a full game shutout. Hey, look what happens when you put the good guys in the bullpen in to close out the game. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just mind-boggling?
It's hard to figure out.
Offensively for the Royals, the Tyler Tolbert homer, he's more of a speedster, but he hit his 3rd of the year, which is astonishing. Salvador Perez hit a triple, and that was key because he later scored on a sac fly from Nick Lofton. Carter Jensen, RBI double. Jack Caglione, RBI single. So both the young guys and the old folks both getting in on the action. All this to say, it's about finding the little things to be excited about with this Royals team, and I'm learning that maybe the Royals are not a team to judge by wins and losses, but by the content of their character, and that makes me happy inside.
Weirdo.
Okay, come on. I'm trying to give them something to be excited about here. It really was a good win for the Royals. Does it matter all that much for the course of the season? No. Does it really change anything in how we feel about the team overall? No. But you got to give credit where it's due. I've decided I'm going to start celebrating every single win like it's a big season-changing win because they deserve our support, even if Kauffman Stadium's three-quarters empty on some days. Because why not? It's about optimism in this life, Chuck. No?
You got plenty of it.
Yeah, well, I think I have enough to go around, perhaps. Royals are back in action against the Minnesota Twins today.
It's hard to get excited about the Royals. What else do you want from me?
No, that's really all I wanted to hear. That's all I wanted to hear. I'm trying my best.
I know you are, but it's like, it's that like at this point in the year, you look at the standings and you look at what they're doing, and it's just like, okay.
The most exciting point of the season is going to be if they do something at the trade deadline, which is early next week, and that's where we'll go from there.
And that something better be selling and getting a lot back.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. That's going to do it for hour number 2 of the game plan. Luckily for you, one more is coming your way after this.
Your latest news on KGSO.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier. The Kansas Tourism Deputy Director announced yesterday that Kansas families can continue to explore museums, zoos, and other attractions around the state with the ongoing free Sunflower Summer program. As more of the free features kick off again today for students pre-kindergarten through 12th grade across the state of Kansas, with free admission up to 230 different participating attractions statewide. Is now the Sunflower program has been extended through August 8th.
Nowhere else does this. Flat out, period. Kansas is the only one that has a program like Sunflower Summer. This is a national award-winning program because everybody else is really jealous that we have something like this.
In other news, the Cedric County Treasurer's Office has announced that a new satellite tag office has been opened in the city of Derby after the announcement of the closure of the current office. As according to the news release, the new tag office that will be in the Derby Public Library will launch on Monday next week, August 3rd. According to the County Treasurer's Office, they say they do not expect to have any disruptions of operation with the Derby Public Library station and the closure of the old building.
News on KGSO is brought to you by Phil's Coins. Buying, selling, and trading coins, bullion, and jewelry. It's 9344 West Central and online at philscoins.com.
No more Kansas teams left in the TBT. Last night, JHX Hoops went on the road to the University of Kentucky to play their alumni team, but fell by a score of 78-65. This comes in the same week where JHX Hoops came to Wichita to play the Aftershocks of Wichita State and left with a victory, albeit an emotionally charged one with a lot of controversy. The Kentucky alums are now champions of the alumni portion of the bracket. They'll await the winner of the non-alumni portion of the bracket and play them on Sunday, August 2nd, for a chance at $2 million. That's sports. I'm Andy Stats.
Sports Report brought to you by Burwell Construction. Decks, pergolas, patio covers, roofing, siding, windows, guttering, and more. 316-794-3430 or online at burwellconstruction.com.
10 days, 35 games, 16 teams from across the country. All of it comes down to one night. Saturday, August 1st. Downtown Wichita, Equity Bank Park. Championship night presented by Kansas 811. Crowns the 92nd NBC World Series champion. The best amateur baseball players in America right here under the lights. And when it's over, Black Hills Energy and Victory Pyrotechnics light up the Wichita sky. This is what summers are made of. Tickets at NBCBaseball.com.
The 92nd NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Want to get out of just about anything and look like an earth-saving hero? Just use the environment excuse. High school reunion? Ooh, sorry, can't. Planetary obligations. Unfortunate bridesmaid's dress. Unfortunately, you promised the climate you'd buy more vintage. Chauffeuring teens? Yeah, the earth really needs them to hoof it. That's right, the environment is always the best excuse. So go ahead, ask your bae to dim all the lights because carbon emissions. Tell your dad-botted dad to eat more plants, for the planet, obviously. Kindly tell the kids to stop asking for a new phone. I mean, e-waste, right? Find your out and opt in to cutting carbon. Just visit theenvironmentexcuse.org. A public service announcement brought to you by WildAid.
This is Wichita's sports station, K230PY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO, Belle Plaine, Wichita.
KGSO weather.
Some clouds early, maybe even a stray shower or rumble of thunder. As we get into the afternoon, we'll keep at least a slight chance of rain in. High up near 96 degrees. It'll feel more like 100 plus because of that humidity. Wind, it'll be out of the southeast 5 to 15, gusts to 25. Overnight tonight, we'll keep that storm chance in, especially after midnight. Lows drop to 75 degrees. Storm should head out by sunrise. Highs on Friday, back to 96 with lots of sunshine. In the Cake First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Frank Waugh.
At 8 o'clock, it's currently 88 degrees.
Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita. This is The Game Plan on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Hour number 3 of the Game Plan's coming your way right now alongside Chuck Fairweather. My name's Andy Stats. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday, July 30th. Wow, end of July. My goodness. Where does the time go, Chuck?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Does that mean we're having fun?
Yes.
Yay.
Have you seen? Oh, You've got something you want to tell everybody about.
I do, really quickly, if that's okay. I promise it's worth our time.
You're fine.
My friends over at Doc Greens want to let you know that they're freshly pressed juices you can buy by the bottle. They're fresh squeezed fruits and vegetables, healthy options, including salad wrap, sandwiches, entree options, all of the above. If you want to feel healthy and do it at a good price, head over to Doc Greens. Go see them at Central and Hillside, New Market Square, or Waterfront. Anywhere in the ICT you can get your hands on Doc Greens, I recommend going out there. That's Doc Greens sponsoring the Game Plan this morning. Chuck, what's going on?
So, you know that the NFL, every once in a few years, teams like to try to keep uniforms fresh. Have you seen the Bills' alternate uniforms that was released the other day?
I unfortunately have not.
And the Rams' alternate that was released.
May I look them up and give you a live reaction here?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Bills, Nickel City. I don't know is that what they call Buffalo, I guess? I'm not sure. Okay, and then Rams alternate. Let me pull them both up. I haven't even seen the Bills ones yet. Let's see, I'll click on this article. Okay. Come on. I love when you need things to function as
right.
intended.
No,
It's just when they don't. Okay, so I'm looking at a tweet from the Bills right now. Okay. Interesting. How do you feel about them?
Not a big fan. If you could get any more basic on a uniform, I'm not sure how. I think the Bills pulled off the most basic uniform I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm looking at the right one, right? This gray one with the.
Yeah, it's gray pants, gray top, blue numbers, trimmed in red and white. But what gets me, and there's it's just a gray uniform. It's got some thin blue piping on it, blue collar. But what gets me is the helmet. And the tweet from them, you don't really see the helmet real well. You might have to try to see if you can find another.
I'm seeing the side view of it right now, where it's just instead of the actual bill, it's just a line.
Yeah, it's just the line on the the little white horn with the red line on a blue helmet. It's like, it looks it's just basic.
So I like the side view of it. What I don't like is that stripe is on both sides and it connects in the back. They gave like a back view of it in that video they posted, and it looks kind of out of place. You know what the helmet? You know what could save that helmet though? Instead of the blue face mask, if they had a white face mask like what the Giants did, I think sometime in the past couple of years, that might have saved the helmet. But I don't know how I feel about these. Mixed feelings.
And I see what you're saying. That's the first time that I'm seeing the back where it joins in the back. Yeah, that's even worse now.
I don't like that. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Like, I get that red, whatever it represents in the Bills logo. I don't know.
See, to me, this is the same as the Texans' new uniforms that they released 2 years ago. I can't, compared to their original ones, the home blue jerseys are okay because it doesn't have any weird half horn on the shoulder, on the helmet or nothing. It's a blue jersey. It's got the Texans logo on the shoulders, a multicolored trimmed collar. I'm okay with the home uniform. I don't care for the number font. I don't care for the white or the alternate red having the horns on the side that just kind of stop. And then the color chrome red helmet with the horn on it instead of the actual Texans logo looks retarded to me. A lot of these new uniforms, they're trying to get cute with some of this stuff, and it's just like, stop, don't. You're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Yeah, I think that teams get a little overzealous trying to.
And I'm sorry, I'm really partial to the original Texans uniform that they released in 2002, and largely, other than maybe experimenting with different color combinations, they really hadn't changed it until just a couple of years ago, and I liked it. I really liked the original uniform.
I think I remember when that happened, that specific rebrand you're talking about. It's always so difficult because I think fans, and this probably extends to most of humanity as well, they like change, but they like the same amount of familiarity. You need to walk a fine line so that fans will like a certain rebrand or a certain alternate uniform. I think teams try too hard to be like, oh, we're at the forefront of this. Look at us being innovative and stuff. And then it just kind of ends up being very much by fans. And then they look back on it some years and say, hey, remember when they tried those out? It's ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan. The Rams had a new uniform set released, an alternate set, all white with a blue stripe down the pants and kind of a blue shoulder stripe, and the Ram horn changes to white. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the Rams want to make sure they stand out in what should be a Super Bowl or bust year for them, I guess. I don't know. Teams try too hard. I think the Rams specifically, they tried very, very much so, especially when they left St. Louis to separate themselves from that. And we're going to bring a caller in here in the Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotline. So a lot of new uniforms in the NFL, not a lot of new things going on.
Apparently, Falcons are changing their entire uniform set again.
And we're going to have to look at that in just a second. But good morning. You're live on KGSO.
Hello.
Hey, thought I'd weigh in on the uniforms.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going?
Did I get the radio station?
Yeah, you're on the air, yeah.
Hey, you got to remember there's two reasons to have a jersey from the team's point of view. One is you want a jersey that's going to look good on the field and represent your team well, but then you also have to have a jersey that looks good with a pair of jeans or a pair of sweats, because that's what all your fans are going to wear them with. So I think some of this, when they're doing, like you said, they try and get a little too cute, which I agree with you, but I think that is less so for the product you're putting on the field and that's so that people are going to be more inclined to buy it and wear it to the game or wear it to a bar or to a baseball game, whatever. But so it's got to look good in both spots.
Yeah, I can understand that it definitely has to look good for the merchandise sales.
But I guess some of the things that I don't like, for example, I'll go back to my Texans complaint about, the white and the red jersey having this horn that starts on the back of the shoulder and then comes to the front and curls up and just kind of stops. I get what they're trying to imitate a bullhorn, but it just, to me, it doesn't look real good on the shoulder of the jersey. And I don't know how the shoulder of the jersey equates to looking good with a pair of jeans. Some of that type of the design elements are just I think they try to overthink the design elements sometimes.
Well, I don't disagree on that individual, but just as a general rule, that's what they're hoping to accomplish.
Well,
to look good on the field and to look good with a pair of jeans.
Yeah.
Maybe they fail, but that's they've got two goals.
Yeah, and you're probably very close to being right on that.
That makes me wonder how much of a football team's revenue comes from merchandise sales, because I think it's probably more than we would imagine. When you go to a football game and the stadium's packed with 70,000 fans, how many of them have some sort of team gear on, especially if it's a jersey or whatever sort of merchandise they're giving out with the alternate things?
Yeah.
That's a great question, and with revenue sharing, I think, although I don't know, I think they get to keep all the profits off of their merch. So yeah, I think merchandise is very important. Hey, listen, guys, I love the show. I'm gonna get, but all right. Guys, have a great morning.
Well, thanks for chiming in.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. You can also join the conversation, 316-522-1410. That's the number for our Maximum Outdoor Equipment hotlines, 316-522-1410. We're going to finish up this thought here. We did have somebody in the Facebook chat, Nick, wants to talk a little bit more about the Royals and what they could do with the deadline, so you better be ready for that, Chuck.
Okay, let's do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Let's do that then. So Nick says the following. I'll just read it out. Is it possible that some of Matt Quatrero's questionable bullpen decisions have been because he was told by higher-ups to get so-and-so a couple of saves so we can trade him? It's something I guess we didn't consider.
Now say that again.
So Nick is basically saying we have harped, and it's not just you and I this week. I think it's a lot of people in sports media in Kansas and in and around Kansas City. The thinking of Matt Quatrero making these questionable bullpen decisions and why he's pitching guys in certain spots when it wouldn't normally make sense to, given how they've done this year. He's saying, is it possible that he's making those decisions because somebody in the front office or somebody higher up on the team is saying, hey, we want to make this guy look as good as he can at the deadline so we can get something back for him, and hopefully some team will take him off our hands, essentially. If he has more saves or his ERA's down and he's finally looking good.
Possibly, but the fact of the matter is it's not working out. They're not performing on the field.
They're not. I mean, I guess this would make sense from one admission, and unfortunately, it's a pretty sad admission for a team to have. But if they realize that the season was over, that they're not going to compete, that there's no point for them to even try and win games, day in and day out for the most part, if they accepted that and decided, well, if we're just going to lose these games in silly ways, we might as well at least try to lose them by making some of the guys that we could move, especially relief pitchers who are always in demand at the deadline, try to make them look as good as we can just to prepare for next year. Now, that would also mean that the Royals have mailed it in probably sometime near the 4th of July, which is when they say the season is supposed to start, quote unquote. That's when you're allowed to look at the standings. The only name I saw realistically floated in trade conversations was John Schreiber, just because he's so good against right-handed batting. I think right-handed bats hit something like less than 190 or 180 against him. Before Matt Strahm went on this month-and-a-half streak of just, peeing down his leg, that's the best way I could say it. He's thrown something like 35 innings, whatever the amount is, and his ERA is near 7. And he gives up a lot of home runs, which is not what you want as a reliever, obviously. You don't want that for any pitcher, but you don't want it for a relief guy that's going to be pitching an inning, 2 innings at a time. So, it's a good question. It's a good question that made us think. And you can't rule it out. I know that a lot of decisions that come down from a manager certainly aren't just his own. I think there's always people meddling and saying, we want to give this guy some looks, so you need to give this guy a chance. We acquired this guy, put him in there. You know, we said that one of the symptoms and one of the things afflicting the Royals, we felt, was the front office thinking that they were a bit smarter than everybody, when that's not always the case. I guess this isn't. This is not something that it would be far-fetched if that's what the Royals front office is trying to do here and trying to outsmart everybody. It's an interesting point. I've never heard of something like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just not sure what to make of it. I don't know that it would be really silly for the front office to go, hey, you're going to put this guy into play instead of this guy because we want him to look good, and then all of a sudden that stuff backfires. And then for them to continually do that, because some of Quattro's decisions, like you said, have been pretty questionable, and it hadn't been just a one-time thing.
No, this is a regular thing this season, especially down the stretch.
It would be a little silly for you to think that, you know, especially when they haven't panned out, that the front office continually, you know, keeps making those types of decisions. But I don't know. Is it possible? Sure, anything's always possible when it comes to the front office, you know, giving orders to you know, team management.
The other line of thinking there is, you know, for the relievers that have done good, especially in the month of July, you know, the two guys that threw yesterday in relief in the bullpen, Daniel Lynch IV, Steven Cruz, both went an inning scoreless. Both are probably the top two relievers there right now, you know, alongside Schreiber. If those guys are on the trade market, I haven't heard their names or seen their names floated as in a lot of trade proposals, but that could be the case. We're going to hear what you have to say. We'll go to the phones, Maximum Outdoor Equipment hotlines. Good morning. You're live with us on KGSO.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
What's going on?
Well, I'm going to stir the pot here a little bit.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Okay, before I get to my question, who do you think's the best player in baseball?
Right now?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say there's far and away for me one answer to it. Is it not the guy playing both ways in Los Angeles?
Probably.
Yep. Yeah, the Japanese guy or Chinese guy.
Japanese, yeah. Shohei Ohtani, for those unaware. But, yes, that's who I would say.
Okay. Here's the point I'm going to make. You take him and you put him on the Royals baseball team for 1 year. By the end of that year, I believe that he won't be half the player that he is. I personally think losing is a cancer. And due to the fact that the Royals don't want to spend the money, I just believe that you gotta all the stars gotta align like they did the last time they won the World Series. They had a bunch of good players just, you know, that stuck together. But I just think losing at the end of the year, it just gets in your mind, and I just think that it's a death wish. And I'd like to hear your opinion off the air. Guys, have a great day. See ya.
See ya. Yeah, no, it's an interesting point. So to recap, and Chuck, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think I heard this right. If Shohei Ohtani was in a Royals jersey for one season, he says that Shohei Ohtani would not be, his direct quote was, half the player he is right now? Is that what I think I heard?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. We've kind of already seen this, though. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head real quick. When Shohei Ohtani was with the Angels, who are notoriously bad in the regular season, notoriously a team that underachieves and doesn't make the postseason unless for that one random season in 2002 when they won it all, were the Angels even that good with him and Mike Trout on the team? As a whole, I don't think so. I'm going to try and figure this out really quickly, Chuck. It's an interesting point he brings up. It's a question of how much can one player add to a baseball team when hitters only bat 9 times and starting pitchers only pitch every 5 days.
Yeah, I don't know.
So when did Ohtani get to Los Angeles? Like 2019, 2018? Whatever it was. You know what? I have Google in front of me because I have their records up here, and I want to see if I'm right. Shohei Ohtani played with the Angels from 2018 to 2023, okay? In that time, Ohtani won AL Rookie of the Year. He won unanimous AL MVP in 2021. He won unanimous AL MVP in 2023, right? And if you look at the Angels' records those years, from 2018 to 2023, they went 80 and 82, 72 and 90, 26 and 34 in the shortened 2020 season. 77 and 85 in 21, 73 and 89 in 22, 73 and 89 in 23. Most of those years, Shohei Ohtani was their top player. He had something like 10 wins above replacement those last 2 years when he was really coming to his own before he shipped off to the other Los Angeles team. So, my point is this, I think. The question, I'm going to give the cop-out answer. People ought to say on talk shows, it depends. Woohoo, look at me really standing by, sticking to my guns on one thing here. But I mean that in the sense that if Shohei Ohtani, if the claim is that the Royals cannot develop talent, then it might have been different if Ohtani started his career there. But my same point is you have guys that shine very, very brightly on really, really bad teams. I mean, that was the whole joke. The Tungsten Arm O'Doyle joke. It was like Shohei Ohtani hasn't done something since 1902, and Mike Trout was the first guy since Tungsten Arm O'Doyle in 1920 to do this as the Angels lose to the Detroit Tigers 5-2. Like, that was the joke that was going around and saying, like, how do the Angels keep losing games despite having two of going to be Hall of Fame guys one day, right? So while I agree that the system can make the player, especially when it comes to development early on in a young ball player's career, which I think development in baseball is actually one of the more crucial parts, or I should say it's more crucial in baseball than it is in other sports. I don't know if Shohei Ohtani would not be who he is, even if he was wearing royal blue. That was a lot of words, Chuck.
Yeah.
Sorry. I tend to go off on these tangents. You can tell me to knock it off at any time.
No, you're good. I'm not disagreeing with a whole lot of what you're saying. So typically when I agree with something like, and Doug, and I'll do the same thing with Doug, when I agree and I don't have a whole lot to really add, I just kind of let you go.
Okay. Well, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure your voice is heard. I don't want to step on your toes is all.
Hey, if I feel like, I'll let you know. I'll bump in when I need to. Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, when I agree and don't have a lot to add, I just roll on with it, bud.
Okay. It's definitely a good question. And I do think okay, well, let me take a different perspective on this. Would Shohei Ohtani be the same ball player? Yes. Would he have different stats? Also probably yes. I don't know if his stats would be as good because, well, when you're playing on the Dodgers and you actually have guys on base to hit home, okay, when Ohtani hits a home run, it's a 3-run home run. When Shohei Ohtani were to, in theory, come up to the plate in a Kansas City Royals uniform, and he's the only guy on base, or there's nobody on base when he comes up to the plate, it's a solo home run. So would his numbers take a dip in terms of that? Potentially. Okay. I still think he'd be a very similar much of a pitcher, but maybe some of the typical counting stats that we use to judge a lot of players would be different. But if you look at, and they call me anti-stats for a reason, if you look at stuff that quantifies how he hits the ball, you know, his exit velocity, his launch angle, right, his expected batting average on balls in play, those would probably remain the same. This is, you know, we've gotten asked a pair, you know what, probably 3 or 4 questions we've gotten asked this week, Chuck, that I've really never taken the time to think about. You guys have a great listener base here. I'm not just saying that either. I really mean that.
I absolutely agree with you on that.
They're trying to catch us off guard, and I'll be honest, they've come close.
Don't get me to disagree with you.
We can find something to disagree on.
I'm sure we probably could.
CJ Stroud's the best quarterback of all time. You know I'm not serious when I say that. No.
Just stop. Listen, I want to believe that he could be. He plays for my team. No.
Yeah, they were Stroud, of course. We'll talk about this too. Entering the last year of his deal, there's not been a whole lot of conversation if they're going to extend him.
He's going to have to play. This is a prove it year for him.
Yeah, this is the audition, right?
Yeah, this is. This is a prove-it year for him. Here's the thing. It's a good problem for Stroud to have, because if you get a contract right now, you ain't getting what you could. But if you go out and ball out this year, guess what? You're going to get the Brinks truck.
Chuck Fairweather tells it how it is. We'll be back in just a second.
Call the Game Plan now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The Game Plan. KGSO.
The NBC Baseball World Series is back, and your home for all the primetime games is right here on Wichita's sports station, KGSO. From the first pitch to the championship game, KGSO is your home for all your favorite Kansas teams and primetime games. Enjoy the best collegiate players from around the country as they gather for the annual NBC Baseball World Series. And it's right here on KGSO.
Brought to you by Doc Greens, Auburn Spirits, and Taco Pronto.
Are you looking for a better healthcare experience this summer? Kingman Healthcare Center is a full-service hospital with a 24/7 emergency room with little to no wait times. Our clinics offer same-day appointments and convenient scheduling for your annual checkups. Don't wait. Make your health a top priority and schedule your appointment today. You won't regret the short drive without the big city traffic. Exceptional care every time. To learn more, visit our website, kingmanhc.com.
Even the finest jewelry needs repairs sometimes, and Wichita's first choice for full-service jewelry repair is Jewelry Savers. Whether you need ring sizing, stone setting, soldering, or shank repair, Jewelry Savers does it, along with lobster clasps, prong retipping, pearl restringing, chain shortened or lengthened, watch repair, watch batteries, watch bands, engraving, cleaning, polishing, even appraisals. Trust Jewelry Savers by Cabela's at K96 in Greenwich.
Jewelry Savers. We don't want $1 million, just a million friends.
Looking for a healthier option to get you through the afternoon grind? Check out Doc Greens with 3 locations in Wichita. At Doc Greens, you can find a huge selection of salads, wraps, and sandwiches that won't leave you feeling bloated all afternoon. With the freshest ingredients, you know you'll always feel great after a lunch or dinner at Doc Greens. Check them out at Central and Hillside or at the Waterfront and New Market Square. While you're there, don't forget to pick up a few bottles of freshly pressed juice. Doc Greens, locally owned and operated.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013, 800-444-2013, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
America is turning 250, and we're celebrating all month long at Midwest Kia. Join us for our Stars, Stripes, and Savings Sales event, where we're honoring America's 250th birthday with incredible savings throughout July. Celebrate extra savings on every new Kia that's built right here in America, including the award-winning Sportage, Sorento, Telluride, hybrid models, and the electrified EV6 and EV9 models. And no birthday party is complete without a present. This July, purchase any new or pre-owned vehicle and get a $250 gas gift card. It's our way of helping you enjoy the summer road ahead. Plus, every new Kia comes with that unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. But hurry, this special Independence Day offer and the $250 gas gift card won't last forever. Visit MidwestKia.com. And remember,
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
see dealer for details. Offer ends July 31st. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty.
Wichita Wind Surge Baseball is back at Equity Bank Park. Bring your friends, bring the family, and enjoy an exciting night of baseball right here in Wichita. From big hits to family-friendly promotions and special theme nights, there's always something happening at the ballpark. For the full schedule of upcoming events, follow us on Facebook at Wichita Wind Surge or visit us online at windsurge.com. Wichita Wind Surge Baseball. Don't miss the action at Equity Bank Park.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon James. Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
Keeping local sports alive. This is Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Standing in the rain with his head hung low.
I got to let this one play until the breakdown right here. Yeah, that's the stuff. I love me some Foreigner. Just fires you up on this Thursday, doesn't it, folks? We're at the bottom of our third hour here on the Game Plan. That's Chuck Fairweather. I'm Andy Stats. I want to tell you about some other of our friends that wanted me to tell you this, but I also want to tell you it myself. I promise from the bottom of my heart that there is a new trash service in Wichita. English Trash Services is their name. If you're tired of your bill and service, find them today. Better rates, better service. Find them on the web under English Rentals or English Trash Services. You'll be glad you did. That is English Trash Services.
So, question.
Uh-oh.
Because Doug and I talk about the bump music on this show all the time.
Okay.
And, I like a variety of music. Doug's very much it's got to be old school rock or it's got to be old school country.
That does not shock me.
What's your preference?
I'm more of when you're talking. Are we purely talking about coming back from break here in the music?
No, not
or general
not
music tastes.
Yeah, just general music tastes.
I'll be honest. I know he's listening to this, so he's going to be happy with this. I just grew up listening to whatever my dad listened to, and that has continued to be what I've listened to. So, like, you want to talk like 70s rock, you want to talk like 80s hair metal,
all right.
Anything with a guitar with an ample amount of distortion, not too much. It's got to be in that Goldilocks zone, we can call it. Anything I could vibe out to. I will say a lot of my friends, people are surprised when we go out and we're like, yeah, let's hear some Eagles. They're like, huh?
See, I could do, yeah. I mean, Eagles, AC/DC.
Yeah. Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses, stuff like that.
We saw, my parents actually took
Love a lot of that.
My brother and I to go see Metallica at Lollapalooza.
There you go. Metallica?
My parents at Lollapalooza. That was pretty cool.
But here's the thing. I can go from 80s hair bands and, rock and stuff like that. And then I can do, I can go more new style.
Sure.
Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Seether. Some of that early 2000s, mid 2000s hard rock type stuff. I love a lot of that.
I mean, I'll say a little bit of grunge too. If you want to put Nirvana, you want to put Alice in Chains in there.
Oh yeah, like a lot of that. And then I can even a lot of country, whether it's 80s, 90s. I like a lot of country of today. I'll admit. And I mean, even some of the pop rock, all that kind of stuff. I am very much a very, very eclectic person when it comes to music. So I didn't know. Like one song that he makes fun of me for, even though he claims to like the band, he does one of my favorite songs that we have on our bump music is the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
There you go.
Can't Stop.
Oh no! He makes fun of you for that.
Love that song. He's like, this isn't a rock song. This is like rap rock. Like whatever.
I can hear him saying that.
Whatever.
Too.
It's good, dude.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig.
Exactly.
You know what? My parents and I also saw them at Lollapalooza, and it was awesome. And they played that song to open.
They put on a good show. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
I saw them here in Wichita.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Flea did not get nude, as he sometimes does as a show, the bassist Flea.
Well, I'm glad that he... Yeah, I don't want to see Flea nude.
No, I want to see him rock out. He could be shirtless, but
yeah,
we'll stop there.
I didn't know. I guess I didn't realize he goes that far with it.
Apparently, it used to be even crazier, like in the 90s and 2000s, like when they were a smaller band.
Well, I know he's nuts, but...
You didn't know he was that nuts?
No, I didn't know he was that nuts, but... So I just was kind of curious. I mean, again, non-sports topic, sorry.
That's okay.
I just was curious what... maybe what your taste in music was. One thing we've talked about, and Doug did kind of he did kind of get into this. So there's a company called Drumeo that has a series of videos on YouTube where they'll get professional drummers from different genres of music.
Okay.
And they'll have them come in and they'll try to pick songs outside of their genre of music, or maybe, if not completely outside, maybe a different style. Like if we're talking a rock drummer, maybe he's a hard rock drummer and they do something that's a little bit more, like you said, grunge or something like that. Well, there's one that they did that went insanely popular, and it was with Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
They played him. What they do is they play a drumless track, and they give the drummer time to listen. Typically, most videos, the drummer listens through the whole track. Then they'll talk about it a little bit with the Drumeo guy, and then they'll listen to it again. And while the second time through, they're taking notes and here's the chorus and da 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 da. And about by the third time through, they're ready to play like their take on the song. Well, Chad Smith comes into the studio. They put on a drumless track of The Kill by 30 Seconds to Mars. And within the first 30 seconds of the song, Chad just runs with it. Just bow. And lays down something that's pretty close to, not only is it pretty close to what the original song was, but when he did kind of get off into his interpretation, it was just badass. Like it was awesome.
Okay.
So
that's like giving Picasso a blank canvas and having paid you a masterpiece, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so, those types of things I really enjoy too. Yeah. Especially as far as music goes, just seeing how different people interpret things. And so
okay. I like that.
Just kind of I know, off the wall weird topic there, but
no, that's fine. The one thing I'll say is
you hit on Journey. To be honest with you, well, when the last song coming back, was Journey. When you mentioned, Journey, I'm like, all right. I'll be honest, you're a little bit younger than what I would have thought of somebody like, man, Journey. All right, I'm like, okay. That's kind of cool.
We got some Journey on here. Yeah, there was Stone in Love. I mean, we just heard Foreigner, Jukebox Hero. Yeah,
or Foreigner. I'm sorry.
No, but Journey. We had Journey yesterday too.
You did.
Yeah.
But when you mentioned it was Foreigner that you kind of were like, man, I was like, okay, cool.
That's probably my favorite song by them too. Hot Blooded's up there. It's pretty good. Cold as Ice.
There you go.
Yeah, that's probably the big three. There's more that I definitely can't think of.
It just stood out to me that you picked up on an older school band like that. Like, you're young enough, I wouldn't have pegged you for a Foreigner or a Journey type of guy.
No.
So
I think we'll call that a pleasant surprise, though.
Color me impressed.
All right, so let's go.
I'm sorry, we got off onto that. We got off onto a rant there. Like I said, I was impressed.
I have more I could say, but we would spend the rest of the show talking about that, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Slow sports.
Yes. The one thing I want to make sure we touch on, and again, we spoke about this at length earlier this week, but we finally have some sort of like concrete news about it now. Tarek Skubal, Detroit Tigers starting pitcher. He throws a phenomenal game yesterday.
Where is he going to go?
Well, that's the thing. He throws a phenomenal game on the mound yesterday. He took a 7-0 shutout into the seventh inning. He was getting a standing ovation from the home crowd in Detroit pretty much every chance he could. Tip of the cap because he reached 1,000 career strikeouts. And what did the Tigers do to potentially celebrate the potentially last start of Tarek Skubal in a Tigers uniform?
Wop, wop.
They blow a 7-0 lead against the Orioles. And they lose 10-9 in 12 innings. Like, come on. If that's not the most Detroit Tigers AL Central just cluster whatever, that's, oh, my goodness.
So what you're saying is the Tigers roiled last night?
Yes. The Royals played well, but the Tigers roiled.
All right,
they switched jerseys for the night, except for Skubal.
Here's the sad part of it is right at the All-Star break about a week and a half ago, the Tigers had played well leading into the break and were close enough with their record where you kind of thought, man, if they come out of the break and they can put a little bit of a win streak together, maybe, just maybe, there's an argument to be made that instead of sellers, they might turn into some buyers.
Yeah.
Not now.
No.
They have played themselves out of that within a week and a half coming out of the All-Star break.
No, after I watched the conclusion of the Tigers-Orioles game yesterday, I was just going on to see, like, I wonder what people online are saying about this. And in, like, all caps, some Detroit media company just says, Tigers blew it, time to trade Skubal. I was like, oh, okay. They really turned a corner on that one. But like you said, are they wrong?
Time to turn the page.
Yeah, I mean, he's 29 years old. He's a big left-hander. Any team would be dying to have him. He's got $32 million in salary that's what he got in arbitration, I should say. And this is the last chance for the Tigers to trade him before he's just going to go off and get what he's owned in the free market anyways.
He's going to get north of 45 in the market.
I would be shocked if he didn't.
And unless you think you can, here's the deal. Even if you think you can re-sign him, trade him. Trade him now. Get what you can for him, and then shoot your shot during the offseason.
Yeah.
Teams that retain guys in a position like this, that they guys are going to be a free agent, and whether they think they can re-sign him or not, I've never understood we're going to re-sign him, so we're going to keep him. Well, if I'm Tariq Skubal, and you come to me behind the scenes, you come to me and my agent and say, listen, Tariq, obviously the club's down right now. You know that your trade value, you know what your trade value would be, and what it would mean to us to be able to trade you right now.
Yes.
So you could help a contending team. We would get a package in return. We know this is where you want to be. We value you as a Detroit Tiger. Don't stress. Don't worry. We're going to take a run at you in the offseason, and you're going to have your opportunity to decide if you really want to be a Tiger or not.
He did say he wanted to finish the season with Detroit if he could. That's a good point. He wants to be in Detroit.
But I understand he wants to be in Detroit. But, again, if I'm Tariq Skubal, as much as I want to stay maybe in Detroit because that's where my ground is at, my home base is at, what's the harm in, hey, if I've got a world championship contending team out there that wants my services and they're willing to give up a big haul to a team that ultimately I'm going to consider coming back to, I could go somewhere on a temporary basis and play for somebody else, potentially win, potentially be able to compete for a world championship, and then look at Detroit's offer in the offseason and go, you know what? My heart's still in Detroit. I'm going back to Detroit. I don't understand why more teams don't try to utilize that strategy at trade deadlines when it comes to trading off a player. And when they are not in contention, but maybe a big haul could get them some players back that could help expedite their contention process, their rebuild process, and then you go back that very offseason and re-sign the guy that you just lost.
I guess it's not out of the equation.
You see what I'm saying?
Because he could come back to a Tigers team that's kind of bolstered and then could finally get over the hump, win an AL Central title, and do some damage.
And then if you're the Tigers and you can't, that there's no way that you can re-sign him, well, then at least you're getting something in return for him anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why more teams don't take this route when it comes to, because there have been teams in the past where they've had a big name player that they're going into their free agent year, but they're adamant that they're going to be able to get him re-signed, so they don't trade him at all. Go to that guy and have an open conversation with him and say, hey, we're not a contending team right now, but we want you here. We know this is where you want to be. We're gonna let you go to a contending team for the rest of this year, but we're going to come back to the table and we're going to offer you a contract in the offseason. Help us help you, We're going to trade you. We're going to get something in return for you that can help the team in the long run, and then we're going to come back to you in the offseason. We're going to get you the contract that you want to come back to us.
If there was one player, Detroit, who is not the biggest market team, they're not the smallest, but they're definitely not the biggest. If there's one player they would, sell the farm for to be able to afford, it would be Tariq Skubal. And like you said, it would ideally be after they dealt him, got something in return for him, and then turn around and flipped it. I guess it's not out of the equation. He seems like he really has a lot of appreciation for Detroit. He was very emotional in the post-game interviews. We'll see if it's going to be money talking for him, if someone's going to offer him something that Detroit physically cannot. All I know is Jeff Passan, who's the ESPN writer for baseball, basically said, yeah, Tarek Skubal is going to get traded. It's a matter of where, but he's going to get traded. Whether that's going to be, he said the top two contenders are, of course, the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers were number 2. That was surprising to see. Can't rule anything out there. I'm not quite sure what exactly is going to happen with Skubal at the deadline. We do know that was more than likely than not his final chance to pitch in front of the home fans there in Detroit, though. So I'm not sure, man. It's the AL Central is just so fun, and I mean that in that people don't tune in to watch the AL Central because it's like teams at the top of their sport. No, they tune in to watch teams that are stumbling over each other compete for the division crown. Yeah, you can see that because the Chicago White Sox are somehow leading the division. And I have no reasonable explanation why other than Munetaka Murakami is just hitting home runs left and right. And Sam Antonacci is a dog, I guess. Every dog has its day, and I guess it's time for the Southsiders in Chicago to finally rise up. Maybe they deserve it. Maybe they don't. I'll leave that up to you to decide.
There you go.
8:45. That means we got one segment to go here in the game plan. We're going to do some fast track topics in and around the NFL and wherever else we find good stories to talk about. We'll be right back after the break. This is the Game Plan.
This portion of the Game Plan brought to you by Southwestern Remodeling, Wichita's full-line remodeler since 1970. See our project galleries at southwesternremodeling.com.
The Game Plan. KGSO.
KGSO is back with the second annual SC Wichita Cares for Kids, coming up August 27th and 28th. Join Wichita's sports station as we support the Children's Miracle Network. Hear their powerful stories and help support our children in Wichita. It's the second annual SC Wichita Cares for Kids, August 27th and 28th. And it's brought to you by
Truck Stuff, Jewelry Savers, Davis Liquor Outlet, the Wichita Technical Institute, the Sugar Shack, and Wichita Sports Station KGSO.
10 days, 35 games, 16 teams from across the country. All of it comes down to one night, Saturday, August 1st. Downtown Wichita, Equity Bank Park. Championship night presented by Kansas 811. Crowns the 92nd NBC World Series champion. The best amateur baseball players in America right here under the lights. And when it's over, Black Hills Energy and Victory Pyrotechnics light up the Wichita sky. This is what summers are made of. Tickets at NBCBaseball.com.
The 92nd NBC World Series powered by Evergy.
America is turning 250, and we're celebrating all month long at Midwest Kia. Join us for our Stars, Stripes, and Savings Sales event, where we're honoring America's 250th birthday with incredible savings throughout July. Celebrate extra savings on every new Kia that's built right here in America, including the award-winning Sportage, Sorento, Telluride, hybrid models, and the electrified EV6 and EV9 models. And no birthday party is complete without a present. This July, purchase any new or pre-owned vehicle and get a $250 gas gift card. It's our way of helping you enjoy the summer road ahead. Plus, every new Kia comes with that unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. But hurry, this special Independence Day offer and the $250 gas gift card won't last forever. Visit MidwestKia.com. And remember,
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
see dealer for details. Offer ends July 31st. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty.
My name is Chance English. I'm the CEO of English Trash Service. With English Trash Service, you get reliable, personalized service. With so many other companies, the service goes down while the pricing goes up. We saw a need for reliability and customer service in the local trash market. We know you have many choices in the area. With us, we treat every customer like a neighbor. When you get your next bill, consider giving us a try. Visit our website at english-rentals.com. That's english-rentals.com.
Imagine a tropical paradise where the sun always shines and the fun never ends. Welcome to Blast Off Bay, the ultimate indoor water park. Catch a wave on our state-of-the-art surf machine, unwind with a cold drink at the poolside bar, or relax in our warm, inviting hot tub. Then get ready for thrills on 11 exciting water slides that'll take your breath away. Hungry? Enjoy pizza, burgers, wings, and more. Open 365 days a year with a perfect climate every day. Don't wait. Plan your escape today to Blast Off Bay.
Be the most knowledgeable or obnoxious. Yeah, be that guy. This is Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Here come the hot sniper. Murderer. I'm the lyrical gangster. Murderer. Big up the crew in the area. Murderer. Still love it like that. Murderer. No, we don't die. Yes, we multiply.
Still grooving here on the Game Plan, folks. That's Chuck Fairweather. I'm Andy Stats. We finished last segment talking about the possibility of Tarek Skubal going back to the Tigers after they deal him later this year, as he's expressed, or most likely deal him before the deadline, I should say. He's expressed a desire to want to play in Detroit. Chuck, you found some historical precedent for what you said out there.
Yeah, like I said, I don't understand why more teams don't attempt, especially teams like the Tigers right now, in a position where they have an ace pitcher who they would like to try to retain. The rumors have floated around that they think they may or may not be able to afford his price tag. Skubal has a desire to be in Detroit. Teams in this position, I don't understand why they don't try more often to still go ahead and trade a player like this at the trade deadline, then come back that next offseason and engage in contract talks with him. He's a free agent either way. So why not try to get something for him? If you can re-sign him, go re-sign him, and then essentially you've gotten those assets from this other team for basically a 3 months worth of rental from this player. Otherwise, if you aren't able to re-sign him, at least you got something before you had to give him up. You got something versus nothing.
That's right.
There's a good example in recent history of this happening because this is something that is rare, and I don't understand why it's not more common. But Aroldis Chapman in 2016 was traded at the deadline from the Yankees to the Chicago Cubs. Helps the Cubs win the World Series. Which again, if I'm Tarek Skubal, maybe I'd rather be in Detroit. But for a few months, I can kick it somewhere else and go try to win a World Series.
Probably with the Dodgers.
I can go kick it somewhere else.
Yeah,
not a big deal. And that's what they make long stay hotel rooms or short term apartment leases for.
Yeah,
not a big deal,
right?
And then if I really want to go back to Detroit, or if that's really where I want to be, come back to the table with them and discuss a contract this offseason. This happened in 2016. Aroldis Chapman traded from the New York Yankees to the Chicago Cubs, helps the Cubs win a World Series, then promptly that December re-signs a 5-year contract to rejoin the New York Yankees. Now, here's what the Yankees got in return for that Aroldis Chapman trade. The big piece was Gleyber Torres.
That's a name people will know.
Gleyber Torres ended up becoming the crown jewel of the trade, 2 All-Star appearances, hit 38 home runs in 2019, and has served as a core middle infielder for the Yankees for nearly a decade. Adam Warren was a pitcher in that trade. He provided highly dependable relief pitching, posting a 3.26 ERA across 29 games in 2016 and an excellent 2.35 ERA in 2017.
Sure.
So he was impactful for a couple of years for them. Billy McKinney spent most of his time in the minors before being traded to Toronto in 2018 for J.A. Happ. J.A. Happ was a starting pitcher for the Yankees that had some impact on New York. He later returned for a brief stint with the Yankees in 2023, hitting 6 home runs, that being Billy McKinney. But again, I think the bigger part there is they ended up flipping him for J.A. Happ.
Yes.
And then Rasheed Crawford largely ended up, that was kind of the dud part of the trade. But still, you got 3 players that in one way, shape, or form ended up helping your club. For a guy that you let him go to another team for 3 months when you weren't in contention, that team won a World Series, and then you turn around and re-signed him anyway. Like, why isn't this a strategy that more clubs are trying to employ?
I just think it's because a lot of the small market teams aren't going to be able to afford the price that these players want. Detroit might have a chance.
Okay, then you trade him and you still get something rather than nothing.
So you're saying even if you don't have a chance to reacquire him, why are you holding on to him knowing that you more than likely can't re-sign him?
Right.
Because this happens more.
It's the same thing, and they chose to do it during the offseason, but it's the same thing. No, I take that back. They chose not to do it. The Astros got nothing for Kyle Tucker.
Yeah. He just walked.
Kyle Tucker walked. they could have gotten a big return from him. Now, I get that the difference for the Astros is they were still in World Series competition at that time. So maybe that's the reason why you don't trade Kyle Tucker. And that I can understand. But right now, the Astros are on the fringe of it, and there's a couple of guys that teams have actively called them on. Jeremy Pena, Isaac Paredes are two guys right now. Christian Walker's a third that could help other teams out. And the packages that they could get back from them could turn the Astros minor league organization around and could turn their future around. Why are we not considering trading these guys?
That's an excellent point.
And if you want to try to go re-sign them this offseason, go re-sign them. I don't get it.
It's going to be an eventful trade deadline for sure, and we'll see if Tarek Skubal is going to remain loyal to Detroit once upon a time. But he's more than likely going to be in a different uniform come this time next week. Real quick, Chuck, you know where I went last night?
Taco Tico, Taco Tico, it's all about the taste.
Order online at tacotico.us if you want to go join me and get their 2-for-5 mix and match deal. It's going to do it for the game plan today. For Chuck Fairweather, I'm Andy Statz. Be excellent to each other.
Your latest news on KGSO.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier. The company of Boeing wrapped up yesterday officially reporting their latest quarterly numbers, saying that they've lost near $444 million in the second quarter.